Baseball presented in high definition. Tonight, Chicago faces the Red Sox, whose recent hot streak gives rise to the questions, why hasn't Boston done better this year? And will it be wait till next year come September? There were moves, there was momentum, and there was Manny. Now, those are only distant memories of April's success. While things went well for the Yankees, the Red Sox fell into weeks of mediocrity.
That's one of the greatest games you will ever see. The Yankees win 5-4, and they sweep the Boston Red Sox.
The swing and a fly ball, deep right. Sheffield at the wall, it's gone. Bill Miller hits it out off Rivera.
The headliner, a 4-team transaction that sends Nomar Garcia prior to the north side of Chicago.
Despite it all, Boston's in the playoff hunt. Its focus on the baseball still to be played. And at the very least, a wild card race yet to be won. The Red Sox are suddenly red hot. Their emergence from a midseason slumber has arrived in the nick of time. Tonight, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball presented by McDonald's. And a big crowd is gathering in the south side of Chicago at U.S. Cellular Field, formerly Comiskey Park. The home of the White Sox, they take on the Red Sox. In the third and final game of the series, the Red Sox are going for a sweep of the White Sox. The Yankees lost again today to the Angels. If the Red Sox win tonight, they'll be astoundingly only 5.5 out in the East. They were 10.5 out just a few days ago. Meanwhile, in the wild card, they need a win to stay ahead of the Rangers and Angels in a very tightly bunched wild card group. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, and welcome to Sunday Night Baseball. And, Joe, when you think Red Sox, you think hitting.
Hitting.
Right? Offense, yeah. The wall, home runs. And these guys are hitting well right now, and they're also hot right now. They won 13 of their last 19, and they've scored 20 runs in the first two games of this series. Manny Ramirez alone has driven in 9 runs in these 2 games.
Well, Manny Ramirez is the stabilizing offensive force on this ball club. But Kevin Millar's been the most consistent player these last few weeks when they've gone on this tear. When this team looks like they do now, they remind you of the team that they had last year. The team that got 5 outs from going to the World Series. That's what they look like now. They looked horrible at the beginning of the season. They start off hot, and then they went sour, and now they're back hot again. The question is, how long will they maintain this consistency? I'll get it out here in a minute.
All right. Well, that was the same question that I had, and we'll find out. Now, the Red Sox, whenever Pedro or Kurt Schilling have been pitching, they've been winning most of those ball games. But the other guys have struggled a bit, and as you said so many times, Joe, it always comes down to pitching, and Derek Lowe is a key man there, and he's pitched well here lately.
Well, I think Lowe is the key the rest of the way. We know what you're going to get from Schilling. We know what you're going to get from Pedro. But the thing that helps Lowe the most is the offense. When they can go out and score a lot of runs, he can relax, throw his sinker, put the ball in play, and let them make the plays behind him. They're also playing a lot better defensively now than they were in the middle of the season.
All right, so Derek Lowe getting ready, and he is, as we say, a key man for the Red Sox. They're going for the sweep here tonight to keep this hot streak going, and he's up against Freddy Garcia, the former Seattle Mariner. Freddy Garcia, who's pitched real well since becoming a member of the White Sox. Garcia ready to face that big Red Sox batting order when we come back with the first pitch.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by McDonald's. Brought to you by McDonald's. And in part by NFL Sunday Ticket, only from DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV or visit your local retailer for details.
Are you looking at my chicken? Don't mess with me. You're gonna be sorry. Don't get all snuggly in here trying to get up in my chicken selects. Did I say I was sharing? I saw that. I'm gonna put that back. Give me my chicken selects. Tell your story walking, mister. Step away from the chicken. They're not yours, they're not yours. This chicken is mine. New chicken selects. Big golden arches. Go in there.
I'm loving it.
Stand back, people! Stand back!
noticeably perfect. The Range Rover by Land Rover. Special lease and finance rates available.
7 years ago, Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines literally saved my life. I simply wouldn't be here without them. Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are focused on our most serious diseases with revolutionary treatments for cancer and AIDS. These researchers dedicate their lives to fighting our most serious diseases. And these medicines can make the difference for millions of us. I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
Remember that guy who used to be called Wild Thing? The guy who wanted to spend the entire honeymoon indoors? Remember the one who couldn't resist a little mischief? Yeah, that guy. He's back. Viagra. Not all medications are for everyone. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
ESPN since 1990, your home for Major League Baseball.
And the big crowd gathering here in the south side of Chicago. They've had 2 sellouts here the first 2 games of the series, and it's going to be close to that tonight, although it does not appear to be sold out at the moment. And the White Sox are now taking the field. The White Sox, who are still alive in that Central Division race. The White Sox are going to have to start turning it around here quickly because Minnesota just swept the Cleveland Indians over the weekend. So the White Sox need to win tonight just to remain 7 games back of the Minnesota Twins. Well, with us tonight is our colleague Gary Miller down on the field. Let's go to Gary.
John, thanks. You know, tale of 2 motivations between these managers. I talked to Terry Francona a few minutes ago. He said he learned an awful lot by being Ken Maka's bench coach in Oakland, but he has only one motivational tool. He hasn't tried a number of different things when they went treading water for 3 months in May, June, and July in this festive atmosphere here. He said his only motivational tool is to create a place where guys like to play. Obviously, it wasn't a lot of fun when they weren't playing well. August has been fantastic, and that's because they're playing good defense, not extending innings, playing crisp, and they're hitting the ball well. On the other side, Ozzie Guillen, his only requirement of his players is intensity, but nobody can match the manager's intensity on this team. It doesn't help that Magglio Ordonez and Frank Thomas are out, but the remaining player who leads the offense, Paul Konerko, is a quiet leader as well. They held a team-only meeting on Friday in which Mike Jackson and Konerko kind of lit a fire into this team. They went out the next day and lost 10-7 yesterday. They're running out of time to get some motivation. John?
All right, Gary, and many thanks. And also, well done when they shot off the fireworks there. Just a little thing we thought would make it even more fun for you to tell us the stories about the 2 managers going into this ball game tonight. Here's the Boston batting order now, presented by McDonald's. Johnny Damon having just a fabulous year all the way around center field. Orlando Cabrera, the former Montreal Expo, at shortstop. And just in the last few days, he's finally gotten it going. Manny Ramirez, 9 RBIs in 2 games here this weekend. David Ortiz, the designated hitter, and he is 0 for his last 14, but having an MVP kind of a season. Jason Varitek, and back of Ichiro, he's the hottest hitter in the American League right now. Kevin Millar in right field, and he's been hot since that Yankee series at the end of last month. Bill Miller back at third base, where he's very much at home, the batting champion in the league last year. Doug Minkiewicz, the former Minnesota Twin, gets the start at first base tonight, and it will be Mark Bellhorn just back from the disabled list at second, hitting 9th, all up against Freddy Garcia, the 30-year-old right-hander from Miranda, Venezuela, the former Seattle Mariner, and they're looking for him to be the stopper here to stop this little losing streak.
Well, John, when they acquired him from Seattle, they thought that gave them a chance to win their division. I mean, he has pitched well since he has been here. Garcia throws a good sinking fastball, slider. He'll change up every once in a while, and he's a bulldog out there on the mound. He'll throw a lot of pitches. On occasion, he'll be a little wild, and that's the only problems that he ever has on the mound, when he falls behind the hitters.
You see umpire Charlie Relaford has gone to the mound, and he's got that wristband on, and he actually tried to cover it up with his jersey, but now apparently Relaford's asking him to remove it entirely, and I'm not sure if that's something that Johnny Damon asked about or not. But so before this game ever starts, the umpire goes out and tells
I have to say,
pitcher he's got to change something out there.
Well, I don't understand that. First of all, it's not on his throwing arm, and if he covers it up, you know, with his sleeve on his left hand, I mean, what does that got to do with it? Maybe we're getting a little too picky here and looking for too many things. Yeah. Let's play baseball.
Well, it wasn't me.
Yeah, well, let's play baseball.
First pitch now to Johnny Damon, and that is called a strike in the inside corner.
First of all, it was black and white, just like his uniform.
That ball is fouled off to the left, and the count is quickly 0-2 to Johnny Damon, who's hitting .305, 14 homers, 64 batted in. That's a lot of RBIs for a leadoff guy. Excellent center fielder. Gets on base a lot, scored 94 runs. He's having one of his best seasons right now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Orlando Cabrera and Manny Ramirez to follow. Freddy Garcia, 6 feet 4 inches tall, and that is too low. 2-2 the count now. He got lit up in his previous start, one of his worst starts ever. He had knocked out early. So he's trying to rebound from that. That slider grounded through past 2 of them. Carlos Lee couldn't get to it, and Willie Harris, or rather Canerco, the first baseman, couldn't get to it, and neither could Willie Harris. And Damon has himself a base hit.
Well, it was a breaking ball that actually fools Damon to watch. He's off balance, but he's able to get enough of this to slider in, down and in, and Damon gets enough of it that he finds a hole on the right side. You can see Harris dive for it. He's not able to come up with it.
So
good
Damon,
pitch there actually by Garcia.
Now here's Orlando Cabrera, and he has to lean back out of the way of that one as that one ran up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Cabrera with the Red Sox hitting .241, 2 homers and 11 driven in. He had the game-winning hit earlier this week at Fenway Park. A double off the wall on the scoreboard at Fenway.
Great changeup there, way out in front. And that's one of the things that Garcia does so well. He will not just send out there and throw a lot of fastballs. He will mix his speeds very well. Beautiful pitch right there.
Cabrera, who was a very fine hitter while with Montreal. That one misses down and away. Last year he hit .297 and drove in 80 runs, and as recently as 2001 he drove in 96 runs while in Montreal.
Well, the one thing to be aware of is that Garcia's not giving Damon a lot of time to run. He's kind of shortened his stride to the plate, and he's not going to be able to get a good jump on him.
That one is into center field. That's a base hit. Damon running hard all the way, and he heads for third. The throw goes through. An ill-advised throw by Rowand, although Cabrera holds on at first base. So Damon saw where that one was headed and easily makes it over to third.
Well, excellent base running by Damon. What he did, he looked at the outfielders before the ball was hit, and he knew they were playing deep enough so that ball was going to fall in front. And that's the first thing you do at first base. Check the outfielders. And watch, he goes right away. There's no hesitation there. So he's going to make it easily. And as John said, Rowand's throw way off target, but he had no chance to get Damon at third base. He should have gone to second base anyway. But great base running there by Damon.
Well, if Damon had come around third, say by 30 feet, he would have nailed him. So there's Cabrera at first base. And Manny Ramirez already with 9 RBIs in this series, and he's got a great opportunity to get another one or 2 or 3 right here. 5 hits, 7 at bats, 2 homers, 9 batted in 2 games in this series, and really his bat had been slumbering since the All-Star break.
Manny is such a good hitter, though, John, that I mean, he just makes adjustments pitch after pitch, and you never think that he's going to stay in a slump for long.
Slider misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I was standing behind the batting cage today talking to Pokey Reese, and Manny Ramirez walked in and he started taking batting practice, and he's just hitting line drives all over the ballpark. And Pokey Reese says he is the best hitter in baseball. And I said, you got my vote for that. I mean, he is. He is the most consistent hitter you're going to find in the game. I mean, he's just a good right-handed hitter.
That ball is yanked foul on the ground, past third, right past Johnny Damon. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, we mentioned 9 RBIs in the weekend for Manny Ramirez. On Friday, right away, he touched up Mark Burley with his home run. And then yesterday, he hit another one. And just for good measure, this ball stayed in the yard, but it drove in some more. So 9 RBIs, a 3-run homer in the first inning yesterday for Manny. He had a grand slam Friday. That fastball misses. 2-2.
Now, if you look at what Manny does year in and year out, he just drives in runs, hits for a high average. And there you see 100 or more for 6 straight seasons.
I think he's going to make it 7.
And he might make, well, he can't make it on this at bat, but he can get close.
2-2 the count. Nobody out. Runners at first and third. And the breaking ball tapped foul. Had him out in the front foot on that one.
Good pitch there by Garcia. The one thing that you have to do against Freddy Garcia if you're a right-handed hitter is be aware that he runs the fastball in hard on you. So when he throws that breaking ball away and he gets it on the edge like that, it's a very difficult pitch to handle. A lot of hitters would swing and miss that, but Manny fouls it. He gets another swing. But you have to be aware of the inside fastball because it tails back in on you so hard.
Damon at third, Cabrera at first. Canerco on the bag with him. 2-2 the count. And that's going to get a run home. They get 1 out at second, but and over into the dugout, the second baseman Willie Harris, who had no chance to double up Manny Ramirez, nonetheless forced to throw, and now he's given Manny second base. And a run scores Ramirez with his 10th RBI of the series. 1-0 Red Sox.
As a second baseman, you have to have a clock in your head. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. If the ball is not out of your hand by the time it's 3 seconds, you don't have a chance to get the average major league runner. I mean, you can see Manny's not even in the picture. He's past first base so far. And that's how a lot of young players get errors, because they try to make something happen when it's not there. That should have been just a force out, and that's all the shortstop was trying to get. He was making sure one.
Now David Ortiz, and of course that wild throw takes away the ground ball double play possibility here. Manny should still be at first base. The White Sox have been making a lot of those kinds of errors early in games in this series. That one is roped down the right field line, and that ball is a base hit. Ramirez will score. Ortiz digging for second, and that's how he snaps out of an 0 for 14 streak as he gets his 106th RBI of the year. 2-0 Boston.
Well, Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz are a great 1-2 combination, especially because one's right-handed, the other's left-handed. And there's a sinker down and actually out of the strike zone. But Ortiz goes down, gets it, and rips it down the right field line. He swings the bat so well, John, you wonder how could he ever go 0 for 14?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Here's Jason Varitek. And Jason Varitek is the hottest hitter this side of Ichiro. Ichiro came into play today hitting over 500 in August, and now it just keeps on going for Varitek down the right field line. Ortiz is going to come in to score, and Varitek has a double. That's his 25th hit this month. 25 for 55, hitting .455 in the month.
John, when you're swinging the bat well, you see the ball well, and things just happen for you. If he wasn't swinging the bat well, he would have taken this pitch because he was fooled just a little bit, and he got out in front. And watch, he'll be just a little bit out in front of this pitch. See, he taps again, a little bit out front. He rolls his hands over. That tells you that he was out in front. He had to roll his hands to try to keep the bat level and get it through the zone. But when you're swinging the bat well, things are going well, you hit the ball hard like that, even when you're fooled a little bit.
The Red Sox came into the game averaging just under 6 runs a game for the year, leading the majors. But in the last 14 games, nearly 7.5 runs a game.
And as I said in the open, or as I tried to say in the open, this looks like the team that we saw last year, a real offensive-minded team. They go out and they put runs on the board, and that really helps their starting pitching. I mean, Derek Lowe has 3 runs, and he hasn't even gone to the mound yet.
That ball into the hole at short, but right there to plug it up is Valentin. And Kevin Millar is thrown out. That is the second out of the inning. Holding at second is Varitek.
Now let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox defensively. And as you mentioned, they have been making some mistakes lately. We've seen 2 here in the first inning. Rowan threw to the wrong base, and Harris tried to make a double play, even though that double play has not, the runs are still being earned. It was not the proper play.
And there's ball 1 to Bill Miller. But it did change things. I mean, had David Ortiz up, they might have pitched Ortiz entirely differently with a runner at first base than they did. Bill Miller, the batting champion last year. And he's starting to get it going now. 285 average and a fastball away. 2-0 the count. Bill Miller trying to increase the lead for that man, Derek Lowe, who already has a 3-0 lead before throwing a pitch. And of course the Red Sox, they must love this guy because whenever he pitches, they score a ton of runs, or at least most of the time. 6.6 runs a game for him this year.
It's weird, John. You'll have 5 starters, and in one season you can look at it. One guy will get more runs, you know, on a start per start basis than the other guys. It just happens that way.
In shallow left is Carlos Lee to retire Bill Miller. But a 3-run first inning with the Red Sox, 4 hits against Freddy Garcia. Derek Lowe will head out to the mound with a 3-0 lead.
George my Francis got off key.
Behind the scenes weekend. This is SportsCenter. Friday at 10 on ESPN. And college football behind the scenes. Saturday at 7:30 on ESPN2. Simulcast live with Virginia Tech USC on ESPN.
I'm John Walsh, host of America's Most Wanted. I've dedicated my life to hunting down criminals and putting them in jail. In my years as a partner with crime fighters all over the United States, I met a lot of great cops. And one of them is right here in Phoenix, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Experienced, dedicated, a conservative who thinks outside the box, Sheriff Joe is a proven leader, and Arizona's lucky to have him. I really hope you'll keep him as sheriff because America needs more cops just like Sheriff Joe.
In Chicago, Frank Thomas not in the lineup. Neither is Maglio Ordonez. That's been a big problem for the White Sox. 2 of their best sluggers out. Red Sox lead 3-0. Let's take a look at the White Sox batting order now, brought to you by McDonald's. It will be Willie Harris, a speedster, second base. Aaron Rowan, and he is having a breakout kind of a year, hitting .314, 18 homers. Carlos Lee also having a very strong season, 23 homers for him. Paul Konerko, a 30-home run man at first base batting cleanup. It'll be Carl Everett, acquired in a trade recently, and he's the designated hitter. Jose Valentin, 26 home runs at short. Ben Davis is the catcher, hitting 7th. Former Mariner. He came over with Garcia. Borchard is in right, the rookie from Stanford, and Joe Creedy at third base, and he's got 16 home runs. All up against Derek Lowe of the Red Sox, who's won 11.
Well, Derek Lowe has really been pitching well lately, John, and I think it all coincides with the Red Sox scoring a lot of runs and taking a lot of pressure off of him.
And the sinker is low.
And Derek Lowe had a lot of blister problems, and he felt like obviously it was coming from the rotation of the ball when he threw his sinker. And he's been throwing a few more straight fastballs or 4-seamers than just the sinking fastball. That one there did not sink, as you can see.
Well, they had that excellent game against the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball in late July at Fenway. And he said afterward that he hardly threw any sinkers at all that night, going to 4-seamers and cutters and that sort of thing. You, of course, and I only mention that, Joe, because you were at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but I was watching part of it. I saw part of it.
There's a bunt, but it rolls foul, and you get a chance to see the speed of Willie Harris.
I was watching part of it, and then when you guys got into politics, I kind of, started to move away a little bit.
Now, I worked with Rick Sutcliffe that night.
Right.
And I always prefer working with you.
Thank you.
And Rick Sutcliffe did a very fine job. The one complaint I had about him, he's really too tall to be a broadcaster.
What is he, what's Rick, about 6'5"?
No, I stood next to him. He's at least 7'7".
Man.
He's a minute bowl line. There's a foul off the left field line by Harris as he battles it out here with Derek Lowe. Aaron Rowan and Carlos Lee will follow. Lowe 11 wins this year, even with an ERA above 5. 67% of the outs that he has recorded this year have been on ground balls.
Well, that's that fastball you were talking about, the four-seamer. That one was up and away. That one did not have the sinking action that we talked about. But watch this. You know, Derek Lowe is known for his sinker, but watch this pitch. It kind of rides up. See, that's a fastball that just moves away off the plate. It does not sink. That's not his sinking fastball. And you can see he has the four-seamer right there, and he does not get the sinking action that he normally does when he grips it on the two seams.
Here's Aaron Rowand hitting over 300, 18 home runs, and that's a beauty right on the outside of the knees for a called strike. You know, Lowe, he gets all those ground balls ordinarily, and the Red Sox have made 19 errors behind him this year in his 137 innings pitched. That's the worst fielding support for any starting pitcher in the league this year.
Well, maybe that's why he decided to throw more four-seamers. Strike him out a little bit more than getting the ground ball, but that is unbelievable.
I mean, he's made 24 starts, and they have allowed 26 unearned runs just in his starts. And a foul back out of play.
Well, I guess they feel like they do owe him some runs. If they're going to make errors behind him, they have to score more runs.
Better score a lot of runs for him.
And it's interesting that was one of the things that they tried to do at the trading deadline is, you know, shore up their defense, and they did a good job. You know, they added Cabrera at short and Minkiewicz.
A breaking ball fouled. So Rowand stays alive with Carlos Lee on deck. There's Orlando Cabrera, the new shortstop.
I mean, his strength is defense, whereas Nomar's strength was both offense and a little defense, but he was more of an offensive player. And there's Doug Minkiewicz, another good defensive player.
Right center field, and there is Millar. 2 men gone here in the White Sox first inning. Carlos Lee coming up.
And let's take a look at the entire defense for the Boston Red Sox. This ballpark, the dimensions, and Cabrera at shortstop has won a Gold Glove. Minkiewicz has won a Gold Glove. Bill Miller's also a good third baseman. So they did improve their defense, you know, their inner defense, because they were making a lot of errors on the infield.
Here's Carlos Lee. And that is a slider for a called strike to Lee. 298 average, 23 homers, 79 batted in. I mean, this you can see what a lineup this White Sox club would have when Frank Thomas and Ordonez are in there with Lee and Konerko and Valentin and Rowan. I mean, that's impressive.
Very impressive. And they thought when they got Garcia to add the pitching that they were in great shape, but obviously Frank Thomas gone for the season, and Magglio Ordonez probably gone for the whole season. I mean, you can't take those two guys out of any lineup and expect them to continue to, you know, put up big numbers, but they have hit some home runs. They've added some veterans. They brought over Roberto Alomar, and they brought Carl Everett back.
And just out of the reach of Cabrera. That ball, they got out there quickly, and Cabrera did not react quite quickly enough to it.
Well, I think it stayed down on him.
So the White Sox get their first base runner. Now Konerko coming up. But we're talking about Frank Thomas and Magglio Ordonez. The average season, both of them are career 300 hitters with an average of 30 homers and 114 batted in for Ordonez, 37 homers and 121 RBIs for the Big Hurt.
I mean, you take 235 RBIs out of any lineup, and it's going to change the way, you know, they play the game.
I mean, you could have, with all those guys healthy, 30 home run guys, and maybe even 400 RBI guys. Ball one to Paul Konerko, and he's got 30 home runs, having a very fine year. Konerko, 30 homers, 82 driven in.
But I think that 82 would be a lot more if Magglio Ordonez was in there and Frank Thomas.
Especially Frank Thomas.
Yeah,
you hit behind Frank Thomas, you get a lot of RBI opportunities. That's back out of play.
And that's the other effect. It's not just the RBIs they bring, but how they help the lineup and help the other guys in the lineup to be able to drive in runs. If they're always on base, because both of them are 300 hitters, And Ordonez is, again, one of the best hitters in the game.
3-0. The Red Sox lead the White Sox. The White Sox with their 2-out threat here. Lee at first. And off the inside. 2-1 the count. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. We're in the south side of Chicago, what they used to call Comiskey Park. Now it's U.S. Cellular Field. And the Red Sox jumping on Freddy Garcia with 3 runs in the first inning. White Sox batting with 2-out runner at first. The Yankees lost today. So the Red Sox suddenly could be a player in that Eastern Division. If they win tonight, they'll be only 5.5 back of the Yankees, which is still significant, but they were 10.5 out just it seemed like just a few days ago.
Well, I think the 5.5 is not nearly as significant as you think, John, because they're going one way and the Yankees are going the other. So
ball 4 to Konerko.
The fact that they've been able to make up 5 games, in about 6 days, that tells you right there that they can get right back in this thing in a hurry.
The Yankees just were swept at home by the Anaheim Angels. 4-3 Angels today. Kelvin Escobar, the former Blue Jay, got a very big win for the Angels. Benji Molina had 4 hits, including a 3-run homer. Meanwhile, in the wild card race, the Angels and the Rangers are right there, both just a half game back of Boston in that wild card race. Very tightly bunched. And of course, both of them are just a half game back of the A's in the Western Division race. Here's Carl Everett. They acquired Carl, a switch hitter. He's got power from both sides, trying to fill in for some of that lost power with both Ordonez and Thomas out. The count now 1-1 strike to Carl Everett.
Well, it's interesting that Carl Everett was brought over last year, to try to help the offense. Then he left in the offseason, and now they bring him back. Roberto Alomar was in the same situation. They brought him in last year toward the end of the season, and now he's back again after going to Arizona for the beginning of the season.
Late season stretch run pickups 2 years in a row for both of them.
Same
guys. Same team, yeah. There's Roberto Alomar. He's not in the lineup tonight. The foul back to the screen of that slider. The count 2-2 now to Carl Everett.
And I thought they were getting Roberto Alomar at the right time because he had just started to swing the bat well in Arizona. He was, and so he was hot there. And I thought when they brought him over here, he would continue, but he has not hit well since he's been here.
Carl Everett only 2 hits and 12 at bats against Derek Lowe, as you see. Alomar, Alomar's only hit, 170?
175, I think.
Yeah, 175. He was hitting .309 in Arizona.
He was swinging the bat really well. I was watching him. I've seen him play several games, and he was swinging the bat well. Hit a grand slam, hitting home run. He was just doing everything. So I thought they acquired him at the right time, but it hasn't paid off for them. And I talked to Kenny Williams, the general manager of the White Sox, and they had a couple of trades they thought they were going to make for a couple other left-handed hitters, to help shore up their offense, but they did not pan out.
That slider in the air along the left field line, foul, and into the first row of the seats. Bill Miller was racing down the line after that one for the Red Sox, but did not get close to it. And a look from the right field grandstand here in Chicago. We'll show you some changes that they've made to this ballpark, and I think they did a real nice job.
I like the ballpark now. It looks a lot better now. It looks, very nice now.
They've got sort of an old Comiskey Park looking roof up there above the upper deck, which they cut down a little bit as well. Jammed him with that fastball, and Everett fought it off. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the White Sox are making Lowe work here. He's thrown 27 pitches in this inning. There's that new roof. And what are they eliminated about, 6 rows of seating at the top of that upper deck in an effort to make the ballpark a little more intimate.
And John, the players like the changes too because it's made the ball fly a little better here, not like old Comiskey Ballpark.
It really flies here. Again, the slider, this one stayed off the outside. Now it's a full count. So Lowe, who got the first 2 hitters, is working himself into a jam here with Lee at second, Konerko at first, and now a 3-2 count to Carl Everett with Valentin on deck. Valentin, a 26 home run man, on deck. This will be the 9th pitch to Carl Everett. See Carl, wide open stance, but very close to the plate. Now Lowe is going to get a visit from Jason Varitek. They're going to talk it over here. Red Sox jumping ahead again with a 3-run first inning. They also jumped ahead with 3 in the first yesterday and a 2-run first on Friday. And the Red Sox have high hopes of steamrolling their way right through this Sunday night ball game and on to Toronto where they go next. There's the stance by Everett. Runners go. A slider, a bloop, foul, Miller, but into the third row.
I think one of the things they wanted to talk about when Veritek went out to talk to Lowe, which pitch do you feel most comfortable with at this point in the game? You know, that changes as the game goes along. He may feel better about his sinker later, his slider, his changeup, but he wants to know which pitch he feels the most comfortable with right now. That's the one we're going to throw. And not being so concerned with what the hitter's pitch is, what the hitter likes to swing at.
The runners go. And right toward the White Sox dugout on that one.
It's kind of interesting here, John. Everett is just up very defensive up there. Even though it's a 3-2 count, it looks like he's swinging late and just protecting at the plate. A lot of times you see hitters more aggressive on a 3-2 count when they get the fastball, especially.
Well, he's never done well against Lowe, so only 2 hits in 12 lifetime at bats for him against Derek Lowe. This is the 11th pitch. That's a fair ball. Minkiewicz showing some of that Gold Glove capability of his. That might have been an extra base hit, but a beautiful play by Minkiewicz. 3-0 Red Sox. Minkiewicz coming on.
Welcome to the positive side of no. There's a no inside all of us. Search for your inner no.
No way.
Embrace it. Repeat.
Nunca.
No.
Never ever.
Never.
Jamás.
Saying no to my friends was impossible.
No.
But after trying the new McDonald's Chicken Selects, everything changed. These juicy 100% chicken breast strips with buffalo sauce are so out of this world that I gotta say no if I'm gonna have any.
Nada.
The itching and burning of athlete's foot. This is the latest way to get rid of it. This isn't. Lotrimin Ultra, the latest prescription strength medicine available without a prescription. So powerful, 1 use a day is all you need. Lotrimin Ultra.
Circuit City's the place for end of summer savings. Hurry in now and save $340 on this compact computer package. Powered by an Intel Pentium 4 processor 520 with hyper-threading technology, with a 15-inch LCD monitor, DVD burner, and HP all-in-one color printer. Now just $1069.99 after mail-in rebates and instant savings. Now through Saturday, only at Circuit City.
You know what I want? I want a credit card that's more than plastic. Give me magic.
Get Disney's Visa credit card only from Bank One.
I want rewards like Lion King DVDs, dinner with Cinderella, a Disney cruise vacation. I want rewards she can enjoy now while she's 6, not 36.
The only card that earns you magical rewards.
I don't want to hear about blackout dates and annual fees. That's not magic.
Get the Magical Rewards card from the Bank One card collection. Apply now.
I want a little magic.
At GMC, we know that payloads don't need to stretch their legs. Listen to XM satellite radio, enjoy dual climate control, or watch DVDs. But people do. Introducing the new GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab. Professional grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Freddy Garcia throwing ball 1 to Doug Minkiewicz, the former Minnesota Twin. Minkiewicz will be followed by Mark Bellhorn, and then leadoff man Johnny Damon. 7 men came to bat in the first for the Red Sox, who lead 3-0. And that sinks down and away. 2-0 the count. Minkiewicz having his worst year with the bat. But he's always been outstanding with the glove, that's for sure. Fastball in there.
I reminded you last week of something that used to happen when I was a kid and I'd listen to radio. It always seemed that the guy that made a great play in the field would be leading off that inning. And you didn't agree with me. I just remember that happening a lot when I was a kid.
That ball is hit deep into right center field. Way back there, that ball is gone. A home run. Doug Minkiewicz hits one out of here. his first home run as a member of the Red Sox. And it is 4-0 Boston.
In fact, John, I remember when you make a great play, they'd lead off the inning, they'd hit a home run. I remember that when I was a kid. He takes a breaking ball here. Again, it looks like he's a little bit out in front, but he's got enough of it. Right there in the middle of the plate, looks like a little cut fastball or slider, but it's right there in the middle of the plate, about knee high.
Now Bellhorn, and a changeup swung on and missed.
Well, we talked about the ball carrying well here. It definitely carries well to right field. The wind kind of blows out to right field and right center.
Well, it's been, as the wind tonight, up to 20 miles an hour blowing from right toward left. But then it hits
the wall,
the superstructure here, and it circles around. During batting practice, you can feel the wind right in your face by the batting cage. You see how the flags are blown, but that ball, if anything, it certainly did not get knocked down, that's for sure. Bellhorn just back from the disabled list. That slider on the outside for a strike. 2-2 the count. Minkiewicz, who has been with the Twins coming up since he came up in 1998 with the Twins, and struck him out. Man, that was a nasty looking pitch right there. First strikeout for Garcia. Well, you're talking about it, Joe. He made the fine play to end the White Sox first inning, maybe taking away an extra base hit.
John, what I like about this is watch. He smothers the ball with both hands. He's going to make sure that ball doesn't get down the line. That's what I like. He was making sure he kept the ball on the infield. That's what the good infielders will do. He wasn't going to just reach out with his glove and knock it down. He was going to smother it with his entire body.
Johnny Damon, 1 ball, 1 strike to count. J.T. Snow, one of the best in the National League for many, many years at first base. And in the American League, not many better than Doug Minkiewicz.
Then you see an adjustment here by Garcia. They're hitting his fastball and his hard. He's gone to the changeups and more off-speed pitches.
Yeah, a little tap foul up the first base side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Damon hit a single, starting the 3-run first inning round. The Red Sox lead now 4-0 here in the second inning. Remember, they scored 10 runs here Friday, then scored 10 runs yesterday, and 4 runs in the first 2 innings so far tonight. Curveball right to the second baseman, Willie Harris. Out number 2. In this series, 28 hits, 5 home runs, and 20 runs in the first 2 games. And 5 hits, a homer, and 4 runs already tonight. And I mean, there have been more home runs hit in this ballpark this year, Joe, than any other ballpark in the majors. That ball is clobbered, but right to Carlos Lee. So Orlando Cabrera hit one hard, but right to Lee. 1 more run for the Red Sox. 4-0 Boston. Jose Valentin coming up for the White Sox.
Introducing the totally redesigned Kia Spectra, starting around $13,000. More value, more obsession. Welcome to more. The Kia Spectra.
Surviving cancer is still the biggest victory of my life. And I did it with the help of 3 Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines.
Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are fighting our most serious diseases. Their life-saving medicines have turned many cancer patients into cancer survivors. Medicines for AIDS, heart disease, and serious mental illness reflect their commitment to research and to extending and enhancing human life.
I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
Let's get off the field right now! Sooner or later, you're going to have to play football, big boy. Just snap the ball. Is this what you want? This belongs to the defense.
10 yards has never seemed so far. Now you will fear the D. Madden NFL 2005, rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
There's a power so awesome,
so irresistible, you'll do anything to get your hands on it. Introducing Gillette M3 Power. Turn on the first battery-powered shaving system from Gillette and turn on the amazing new Power Glide blades. Micropulses raise the hair, so you shave closer in one power stroke. Feel the power of the world's best shave. For maximum power, change the battery every 6 months. New M3 Power from Gillette.
Are you ready for more? Get $1,500 cash back on the totally redesigned Kia Spectra. More cash in your pocket, more car in your garage. Welcome to more. The Kia Spectra.
Log on to MLB.com to follow baseball live on the web with MLB.com's real-time stats, game day audio, and MLB.tv. MLB.com, where baseball is always on.
Derek Lowe to Jose Valentin. First ball swinging. Valentin has a base hit. Past the dive of Mark Bellhorn on the first pitch of the White Sox half of the second inning. Valentino came in with 26 home runs for the year, although his batting average is only .226. So he gets the White Sox second hit, and Ben Davis, a switch hitter, will come up next. There's Valentin. And Ben Davis, who had been with the Seattle Mariners, and he really seems to be blossoming here in Chicago. He's hitting .324 since coming to the White Sox, and he's hit 4 home runs as a member of the White Sox. Johnny Damon waiting for it in center. He took a quick step back and then saw it was coming right to him. So then he just waited. One away. More baseball tomorrow night on ESPN. The Minnesota Twins atop the Central Division, and the Texas Rangers, one of the great surprises in all of baseball this year. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. Also available on ESPN HD, and a great matchup. Johan Santana. And this guy, the last couple of months, has been in another world. He's up against Kenny Rogers, having a big year for the Rangers. 15 wins already. Dave O'Brien, Rick Sutcliffe, and Steve Phillips will bring you the ball game from Arlington, Texas tomorrow night. And the White Sox will be rooting for the Rangers, I would guess. Although, I mean, it doesn't really matter what happens with the Twins if the White Sox don't start winning. Correct. I mean, they have to get hot themselves here. Joe Borchard out of Stanford, and they're giving him a long look-see right now.
John, the White Sox were in first place on July 24th. They were a half game ahead of Minnesota. Since that time, they've gone 8 wins and 18 losses, and the Twins have gone 15-10, which is the reason that they're chasing the Twins now.
And a swing and a miss. It's 0-1.
Now that looked like the good sinking fastball. It looked like it was going to be a straight fastball. All of a sudden it was sinking, and a smart move there by Borchard just to check his swing.
Borchard was a two-sport athlete in baseball and football. He played in the 1999 College World Series and then the 2000 Rose Bowl. At one time as a quarterback, he had consecutive 300-yard passing games versus UCLA and San Jose State when he was a junior in 1999. That's pretty good, too.
Yeah, that's pretty good to play in the College World Series and then the Rose Bowl.
He owns the Pac-10 record for longest touchdown pass from scrimmage. But baseball is beating up on him right now. Borchard came into the game hitting only 167. And he strikes out for the 25th time in only 73 big league at-bats this year.
Well, in that at-bat, you could see why he was having trouble with the fastball away, and then they finished him off with a fastball inside. You've got to be able to cover one of those halves of the plate. You can't give the pitcher both halves of the plate.
1 ball and no strikes to Joe Creedy. Creedy, 16 home run, but he's only hitting .235, and I think the way he came on the scene a couple of years ago in the second half of the year, they thought this guy's going to be a pretty steady 30-plus home run man. Toward the middle, there's Bellhorn, and Cabrera gets the put out on Valentin. 4-0 Red Sox. We head to the third, an 8-pitch inning for Lowe. Coming up, Manny Ramirez. He's had 10 RBIs in the series. After Manny, big David Ortiz. The Sluggers coming up for Boston.
Fight ravaging rain, scorching sun, and wind with Thompson's Water Seal Advanced. Special technology allows it to penetrate deep to seal out 99% of the water right from the start. Thompson's Water Seal Advanced, the most powerful water protection guaranteed. Now available at the Home Depot.
The thing about fresh beer is this. It just tastes better. The clean, crisp taste of Budweiser and Bud Light. Fresh beer tastes better.
State third, Taco Bell's Chicken Quesadilla. Now? It's a bit more portable than your average lunch. The Chicken Quesadilla from Taco Bell. Grilled all-white meat chicken and 3 melted cheeses neatly folded inside a tortilla for a taste that goes anywhere.
And you got a little... Oh, hey, thanks.
To get the Chicken Quesadilla, think outside the bun. Spice up the night. Open till midnight or later.
Added up, and Sheriff Arpaio has saved taxpayers millions. By building a tent city, he saved us $91 million. By reducing inmate meal costs, taxpayers saved $50 million. His chain gang program saved Valley Cities and the county $7 million. And his posses contribute $100 million in free law enforcement assistance. That's about $248 million of taxpayers' money saved. Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Vote to re-elect him on September 7th.
Law and Order.
You're in contempt, Mr. McCoy.
After 13 seasons and 300 episodes, the original still remains the best. Law and Order. See it every weeknight at 7. Only on TNT.
TNT.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by McDonald's. Brought to you by McDonald's.
And here's Freddy Garcia to Manny Ramirez, the great Boston slugger, followed by another great slugger, David Ortiz. The big guys are up. Ramirez, who's having a great weekend, 10 RBIs, including one tonight, then Ortiz, and then Jason Varitek, who actually is hotter than either one of them right now. Those are the three coming up for the Red Sox here. Freddy Garcia already down 4-0, and he misses badly down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Manny Ramirez last year had 104 RBIs, and Ortiz 101. So they combined for 205 last year, and they've almost equaled that already this year. After tonight, they'll still have 40 games to go. Of course, Ortiz was not an everyday player when the season began last year.
John, yesterday, Manny Ramirez tied Tony Perez and Orlando Cepeda for 50th on the all-time home run list. But it also means that he tied them for the 6th most home runs by a player that wasn't born in the United States. Sammy Sosa has the most, 567. Rafael Palmeiro at 542. Jose Canseco, Juan Gonzalez, and Andres the Big Cat have more than the 379 of Cepeda, Perez, and Manny Ramirez.
That high slider called a strike by Charlie Rutherford. The high strike, it's 3-2 now. Let's see what K-Zone thinks about that call. Right there.
I think Manny was looking for a fastball, and that was a slide piece.
3-2 the count. Ortiz on deck. Another slider. That was down. Valentin throws him out. 1 down. So Ramirez kept off the bases, and now David Ortiz will come up. The two of them, what a 1-2 punch they have been for the Red Sox. Ramirez 32 homers, now with 97 runs batted in. Ortiz 30 homers and 106 driven in. So they've already hit over 60 homers combined and 203 RBIs. And they had 205 together last year. That curveball from Garcia is too low. 1 ball and no strikes. And I remember back in the 70s, the two came along in the same year, Fred Lynn and Jim Rice.
Correct.
And they were a great 1-2 punch for many years for the Red Sox. That's a ball down and away.
Very similar. One left-handed and one right-handed, which is a perfect combination.
And they hit for average. They hit for power. They both played the outfield. 2-0 to David Ortiz. He ripped a double to not get a run his first time. Jason Varitek is on deck. 3-0 the count. 4 runs, 5 hits for Boston. No runs, 2 hits for the White Sox. And Freddy Garcia, he got shelled in his previous start. He'd like to put things back together now. That changeup in there for a strike. 3-1 now.
And that tells you the respect that Garcia has for Ortiz. He thought he might be swinging 3-0, so he took a lot off of that pitch. Very rarely do you see a 3-0 changeup.
Garcia, as that ball is fouled back. Garcia against Detroit 5 days ago went 4 into third innings and gave up 9 runs and 11 hits. And he gave up 4 home runs in 4 into third innings. His ERA went from 3.36 to 4.25. I mean, what was, including what's happened tonight, and he was having a very fine season. All of a sudden, that ERA is just mediocre. Well, he makes a great pitch there and strikes out Ortiz.
Everything was away, and then he comes down and in, and David Ortiz cannot catch up with it. Even though the target's away, you see where it goes, down and in. And he throws a little breaking ball down and in, slider down and in, and Ortiz could not catch up with it. Good pitching. Away, and then down and in.
2 down. Here's Varitek. 25 hits in his last 55 at-bats. Ichiro, by the way, only 1 hit today. I don't know what's wrong with him.
He's in a slump.
Maybe you should talk to him. And they won. Seattle won today. I mean, he'd been getting 3, 4, 5 hits a night, it seems like, and they almost never win. Ichiro, coming into play today in the month of August, was hitting .526.
And he took one off the helmet last week as well.
Yeah, or earlier this week.
Earlier this week, yeah.
1-2 now to Varitek. He doubled home run his first time. Varitek has 19 RBIs in the month of August. He leads the league in slugging percentage. I mean, in the month of August. And he's now hitting over 300 overall for the year. 303. 17 homers, 63 batted in. But, I mean, man, has he been hot. And that's a foul back out of play.
And a lot of people were wondering if the Boston Red Sox hitters all had career years last year, you know, and maybe they wouldn't be able to put up those numbers again this year. And all of them have, you know, started to catch up with their numbers, with the exception of Bill Miller, and he was out for a long period of time with an injury because he led the league in hitting last year. But Ramirez, Varitek, Millar, Ortiz, they're all back on track.
That one in the dirt and picked up by Garcia, and it is Garcia who throws him out.
Great play by the pitcher.
Strong inning for Garcia. Top of the order coming up with the White Sox. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball tonight from Chicago. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan, your Sunday night telecasters, now in our 15th year.
John, I've never seen the play that ended the inning made before by our pitcher. I mean, the ball, now watch him immediately runs in. He doesn't wait. I mean, he comes all the way into here to make this play.
Willie Harris, slow dribbler, and Derek Lowe throws him out, and Harris is 0 for 2. The leadoff man for the White Sox retired here in the last of the third.
And let's take another look at this. But I've never seen this before, where the pitcher, you know, gets the put out on what could have been a wild pitch.
Well, he gets an assist.
An assist, yeah. I'm sorry, the assist. You're right. We're gonna go ahead and give the put out to the first baseman, Konerko.
So he struck out Varitek and threw out Varitek in the same inning.
Same inning.
Yeah.
That's
all in the same at bat.
Yeah.
It's just one of those little oddities
that I have not seen before.
It's like a pitcher getting the cycle on a strikeout. I mean, you couldn't really do much more to a batter than what he just did to Varitek, right?
Yeah.
He got him to swing and miss, and then he threw him out. Derek Lowe with a 4-run lead. Aaron Rowand, the hitter, and that is a ball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Rowand flied out to right center his first time. You know, the last time we saw Lowe, he beat the Yankees late July, and it was just a few days before the trading deadline. And Lowe really thought that he was going to be traded. And we had some chats with him that weekend where we were putting together material for sound bites in our telecast, where he openly talked about the fact that he knew he could well be traded. There's ball forward to Aaron Rowan, and you saw Lowe look really upset with himself there because he walked Rowan in front of the big power hitters. Here comes Carlos Lee, then Paul Konerko. This is the look on the south side of Chicago. Another big crowd out here. They sold out the White Sox home ballpark here on the south side both Friday night and Saturday afternoon, and close to it here tonight on a Sunday night. And the White Sox need a win here. The Red Sox are going for the sweep. And strike one thrown on the outside to Carlos Lee. The Yankees lost today to Anaheim. So the Red Sox win this one. They'll be only 5.5 out with 40 to play. In the wild card, they need a win to stay ahead of both the Rangers and the Angels, who are right there. Way outside the lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Red Sox got 3 in the first. RBIs by Ramirez, Ortiz, and Veritek. And then Doug Minkiewicz, right after making a sensational play on a would-be double to end the first inning, led off the second inning with a home run. There's Minkiewicz, who, by the way, is wearing a microphone for us tonight. Into right field. Millar going back on the warning track. And Rowan will have to go back to first. 2 men down with Konerko coming up. Now let's get an update from the studio and Dave Revson.
Okay, John, thanks a lot. Angels and Yankees are Lamisil fast on their feet. Highlight of the night in Anaheim. Can't get out of New York fast enough for the Yanks. Benji Molina with a 3-run shot. He was 4 for 4. Angels complete the sweep. They win it 4-3.
All right, Dave, and the Yankees, I mean, that's kind of a shock. And the Angels, the club that gave them so much trouble 2 years ago in October, eliminating them in the first round of the playoffs, and then making it to the World Series and beating the Giants and winning the whole thing. And that's a called strike. And you know, really, we're talking about the White Sox and their injury problems, serious injury problems. Ordonez and Thomas, the 2 top sluggers. But the Angels have had an unbelievable series of injuries to just about every key player in their whole ball club. As Rowan takes off and he steals the bag. Konerko up there. And you'll see a lot of steals ordinarily in games where Derek Lowe is pitching.
Well, one of the things you do, and I like what Ozzie Guillen did there, to keep your team from relaxing and trying to go for the 3-run homer when you're 4 runs down, go ahead and make things happen. Steal a base here, try to get a run here, try to put something on the board. You have 6 more innings to do it, so why not go ahead and try to get 1 here, 1 there instead of just playing for the big inning.
And so now Konerko can knock in a run with a single. And a foul out of play. Konerko, the White Sox leading RBI man for the year with 82 driven in. Now that's the 27th steal with Lowe on the mound this year in 29 steal attempts. It's the most steals against any American League pitcher. The only pitcher who's had more steal attempts than that in his games is Lowe's teammate Tim Wakefield.
And you can understand that. Nick Wakefield, of course, the knuckleball pitcher, so you try to run on him because it's tough for the catcher to catch the ball, let alone catch it and throw somebody out trying to steal.
Well, all through Lowe's career, that's been a consistent story. 84% of all those who've attempted to steal against him in his career have succeeded. Pass Lowe, Bellhorn, and that's the inning. So Rowan is stranded. On to the 4th inning. Millar, Miller, and that man, Minkiewicz, coming up.
Sorry about that. You all right? Yeah.
An accident isn't your best moment. But at State Farm, we'd like to think it's ours. In fact, according to J.D. Power & Associates, customers rated us higher than any other insurance company for collision repair satisfaction.
Yeah, everything's fine. I talked to State Farm.
We know this isn't your best moment, but it's a moment you'll be glad you have a State Farm agent. So call us today.
Go beyond the boardroom, uncut and unleashed.
I can't stand you.
With explosive, unseen confessions. Plus, get an exclusive in-depth reveal of Season 2.
You're fired.
Own The Apprentice on DVD Tuesday.
Sir, I detect the presence of alcohol. Have you been drinking this evening?
Not really.
1 or 2?
Just a few.
Step out of the car, sir. Step out of the car. Step out of the car, please.
Across the country, cops are cracking down. No matter where you drive, if you drive impaired, you will be arrested. It's simple.
You drink, you drive, you lose.
In the all-new Saab 92X, the road seems a whole lot stickier. Tenacious all-wheel drive handling, road blistering performance, and unlimited servings of G-force. The all-new, all-wheel drive Saab 92X. Welcome to the state of independence.
He's not even human. He's like a robot.
Why? Because he always wins?
Need another Kensett.
Copy that.
Did I win? Yep. He's a robot.
A winning robot.
Walkie-talkies get it done. Nextel.
Now the Red Sox into the 4th inning, leading 4-0. Freddy Garcia, who had a strong 3rd inning, and he delivers ball 1 to Kevin Millar. Millar, then Bill Miller and Doug Minkiewicz coming up for Boston. The M&M guys. Remember when Madeline Mayer said all this so much? He used to call them the M&M boys. There's Bill Miller on deck. Mays and McCovey. That was a pretty good M&M combination for many years with the Giants. And a slider down and away. 3-0 the count. Miller on deck, which is, now that I mentioned it, the only really comparison between those guys and these guys is that their names start with M. They have to hit a few home runs more to really earn that sobriquet. So runner at first, Bill Miller coming up now.
How about Miller and Miller from Bob Bird Insurance? You know, when he was a star there.
Yeah. You mean John Miller?
Yeah.
Number 15? Yeah. What a player.
Bob Bird.
What a year to remember. And then and I was 15 that year, and afterward my family begged me to retire. They could already see that I was losing it. It's time to move to the booth, they said. And even at 15, I thought I was ready. Bill Miller, and the slider for a strike. Miller flied out to shallow left his first time. Red Sox 4, White Sox nothing in the 4th. Minkiewicz on deck. Red Sox jumped out with 3 in the very first inning. And that hard slider in the dirt, and holding it first is Kevin Millar.
Good job there by Davis just to keep that ball in front of him. You know, we take it for granted that catchers are going to knock the ball down most of the time, but it's still a very difficult play because he threw that with a slider in the dirt and had reverse rotation on it. You don't always know exactly where it's going, but he was able to get his entire body over there and keep it in front of him.
And the changeup struck him out. Doug Minkiewicz wearing a microphone tonight, and he explained to Kevin Millar in the dugout about the fine play he made to end the White Sox first inning.
2 outs. They run on the pitch. I'd shade more towards the line, because if he hits the ball in the hole, it's 1. If he goes on the line, it's 2.
That's a very smart defensive player for you there. You make adjustments according to the situation. You may set up for a guy to hit the ball in the hole, but once you get into that situation where he's running, you guard the line a little bit more. You take a half step that way and maybe even lean that way. So that prevents him from getting 2 runs on a base hit, whereas if he hits it in the hole, as he said, they'll only get 1 run.
They had Carl Everett at the plate, who was batting left-handed and can pull the ball. Is a threat to pull the ball. Now maybe if it was a right-handed pull hitter, maybe he wouldn't. We didn't have a chance to go down and ask him.
No, I'm sure he was talking about with a left-handed hitter at the plate.
Yeah. Mitkevich hit a home run into right center his first time. Here in the very cozy confines, and that breaking ball, I think, Joe, in that first inning, I don't think he really had that good one. The last couple of innings, he's had a great breaking ball.
Well, it looks like he's waiting on it a little bit more. His arm motion, he's staying back on it and releasing it. Whereas earlier, it looked like he was getting out in front of it, and he wasn't getting the sharp break that he wants.
As the players say, that slider was filthy. Here is Mark Bellhorn, and it's 0-1. Bellhorn struck out his first time. One strike to count. 2 down, runner at first, then a curveball. Strike 2. Johnny Damon would be next. The walk to Millar to start this inning. The first walk allowed by Garcia, and the only base runner that he has allowed since Mitkevich hit that home run in the second inning. There's Millar at first. Canerco on the bag with him, and Freddy Garcia. And we're starting to see the real Freddy Garcia here these last couple of innings now. Fastball up and away. 1-2 to Bellhorn. Johnny Damon hoping to bat, and he's been a weapon. He's a leadoff man, but he's been an RBI man this year for Boston. There's another slider, strike 3, and after the walk to Millar, he strikes out the side. 4-0 Boston. When we come back, a look at one of the great moments in the last 15 years of Major League Baseball coverage on ESPN.
Thanks for coming in. We need to talk about a little incident. Where were you next Thursday night?
I'm sorry, what?
Just tell us. Where were you next Thursday night?
I don't know yet. It's only Tuesday, so I haven't really...
I'm growing a little weary of your double talk.
Next Thursday.
Can your security software spot threats before they ever occur? Ours can. Security Solutions from Computer Associates.
I'm Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and I'm under a vicious attack by my opponent. He wants to close Tent City. Doing that puts more criminals on our streets and costs you over $91 million. Inmate advocates who support my opponent want to pamper inmates, give them cable TV, cigarettes, coffee, pornography. Closing Tent City is his idea of good management. We're tough on criminals. Let's keep it that way. My opponent is wrong, and he's wrong for sheriff. I need your vote on September 7th.
There's still time to enter and get your share of the $180,000 Scoops of Cash sweepstakes, where $15,000 in cash must go every drawing night at all 3 casinos. Entering is fast, easy, and free. And don't forget to use your Players Club card to earn extra entries. Now, what could be better at beating the summer heat than a couple of cool scoops of cash?
Go to the river, Gila River Casinos.
The great moments of baseball coverage right here on ESPN during the last 15 years. Barry Bonds, in a game that was critical in the pennant race. The Giants had to win that night or be eliminated. And they fell behind early, and Bonds right away in the bottom of the first homered to break the record, and then his next time up, he homered again. And the Giants needed both of them desperately.
That was one of the great moments for me as well, John. I was there broadcasting the game with Gary Thorne, and it was electric to see you know, him hit the first one, and then the second one was even more electric because, as you said, they needed that to stay in the pennant race. So, I mean, it was a great moment. I might have voted that one closer to #1, though, personally, for me. And maybe it's because I was there. You know.
Well, Gary did a great job. Capturing the excitement. Bellhorn throws out Carl Everett, and there is one away in the White Sox 4th inning. Let's go to our colleague. Here's Gary Miller.
John and Joe, I know you guys are Bernie Mac fans, whether you saw him in Bad Santa or Charlie's Angels or his own TV show. He's got his first starring vehicle coming up a month from tomorrow. It's called Mr. 3000, about, of all things, a Major League Baseball player who's an egomaniac who gets his 3,000th hit and then retires because that was the most important to him. After this hitter, we're going to see what's really important to him in real life, Chicago sports.
All right, Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000. There's a called strike to Jose Valentin, who singled his first time.
He said he was an egomaniac or something?
Well, his character in the movie.
But I mean, I'm just saying, has there ever been a baseball player like that?
A guy who was an egomaniac?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had one of those.
I know. How unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, we've never had a baseball player that had an ego like that, have we? We've been along.
I just can't think of any.
Yeah, can't either.
If it's make-believe.
Oh, okay.
It's for the story. So let's go back to Gary.
Well, John and Joe, it is Hollywood, and he plays a brewer of all things as well, but he's from Chicago. In fact, he was the head of the beer vendors for the '85 Chicago Bears, but he lives and dies with this team. He loves the White Sox, but it's a love-hate relationship, and it got added to last year. I talked to Bernie recently when I saw a screening of the movie, and he said last year was just too much when they were so close in September and where they ended up. And here's what he said about where they ended up.
This is why I'm done with them. Okay, 9 games out of first. 9 games left. They're half again. They tied with Minnesota. They end up 8.5 games out of first place.
So he gave up on him just because of that? Was it that? I don't remember it being that bad.
I don't either, but
Ben Davis, the hitter, 0-2 the count. Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was the head beer vendor at Soldier Field for Bears games. I didn't know that. You know, I used to be a vendor at the Oakland Coliseum.
I remember that.
0-2 the count, and that's a ball down and away. 1-2 to Ben Davis. Let's go back to Gary.
Yeah, John, at Soldier Field, the '85 Bear team. But he didn't like that team because he thought they got big egos, like the character he plays in this movie coming up. But he just talked about all the years at Comiskey. His favorite team was like Walt No Neck Williams, those teams back then with the White Sox.
Yeah, that's a name from the past.
Walt No Neck Williams. And off the glove of Bellhorn out there in right field. And Ben Davis reaches on the error.
I think that was the problem, John. He was in right field, came off the dirt, hit the grass, and it changed the direction of the ball. It took a harder hop on him. Now watch where he feels this ball, or tries to. I mean, look at, he's going away from it, running toward the outfield instead of cutting it off. I mean, he ends up out there on the grass.
I mean, you know, he might really have had a hard time throwing him out from even if he'd fielded it.
Yeah, from that distance, moving that far back.
Well, he's out there. Pokey Reese still on the disabled list.
So another error behind Derek Lowe, right?
20th error in about 141 innings of pitching from Derek Lowe. His teammates made 20 errors behind him. Joe Borchard, the hitter, he struck out his first time. By the way, we're going to chat with Terry Francona from the dugout. Upcoming. And now it's 0-2 to Borchard. We'll be chatting with Terry Francona in the middle of the 5th inning, after the Red Sox bat in the 5th. First season as Red Sox manager. He's got the Sox on a roll right now. That's outside from Derek Lowe. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Borchard, Joe Creedy on deck. The Red Sox are leading 4-0. This is the one game so far in this series where the Red Sox have not completely busted it open early on. Although they scored 4 in the first 2. Just off the outside. Now it's 2-2 to Borchard. Fortune trying to get something going here with the bat. He has not been able to so far. The White Sox are giving him a chance to learn here at the big league level with Ordonez out. And a high pop fly to left. Manny Ramirez. And that is the inning. 1 error, 1 left. On to the 5th inning, the top of the order. Damon, Cabrera, and Manny.
So this is a right in, right out thing, right? Because you know I'm not a car that likes to sit around. When the world says stop, I got over 150 horses under the hood saying, go, baby, go, don't stop. What are you doing? Stay away from the curb. Then the 100,000-mile powertrain coverage starts going, hey, drive me, no, drive me. Wait, drive me, don't park. What are you, crazy? 30 minutes? That's focus abuse. Focus abuse.
The most powerful 2005 Focus, the new Ford Focus ST. It begs to be driven.
Why don't you just put me on cinder blocks and leave me?
I always said I was going to be playing professional baseball. That's all I ever talked about. The thing that means the most to me is I want to be remembered as a Yankee. You either love us or hate us. I mean, I enjoy playing at home in front of the greatest fans in the world. And I also enjoy going on the road, people booing us and hating us. The bottom line is when you compete, you want to win. I live for this.
Catch Major League Baseball all season long on ESPN. Don't miss it.
Hey, Jerry, I see you kind of eyeballing my chicken there. Ixnay on the ick and shay. All right, babe? What's that, Mikey? You want a little something, something? How about a nice 5-piece box of Don't Touch My Chicken Selects? Everybody get the memo? This right here is a Don't Take My Chicken Select zone. What are you doing? Turn around, go back. Don't touch my chicken. All right? These chicken selects are new, and they're mine. Yummy. Put the chicken down and step slowly away from the deliciousness.
Surviving cancer is still the biggest victory of my life. And I did it with the help of 3 Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines.
Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are fighting our most serious diseases. Their life-saving medicines have turned many cancer patients into cancer survivors. Medicines for AIDS, heart disease, and serious mental illness reflect their commitment to research and to extending and enhancing human life.
I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball presented by McDonald's. Tonight, some American League ball from the south side of Chicago. The home of the White Sox. Freddy Garcia rebounding after a rough start tonight and after his worst start last Tuesday against Detroit. Delivers ball 1 to Johnny Damon. The top of the order for the Red Sox. Damon, Cabrera, and then Manny Ramirez. Ortiz would be due up 4th. Damon single to the first, starting a 3-run Boston rally. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Freddy Garcia proposed to Glendys Sanchez at the end of the season last year. And his manager is a very close friend of both he and Glendys Sanchez.
One of the things, John, the adjustment, we saw him struggling in the first inning. This is why you can make adjustments during the game. He's showing him that he wasn't on top, that he was, and now he's dropping out to the side. That means that you're not getting the rotation on your curveball. Now you see his curveball releasing. He's getting better rotation on it. He's getting better velocity on his fastball, all because he's staying on top. See right there, he's right on top again. That was a perfect example. We did not see that, and that's 92 miles an hour, which is much faster than he was throwing in the first inning. And that's because he's getting on top of the ball, and he's getting a good release point. When he gets it out to the side, it's tailing more, but not getting the velocity. See, right over the top with that curveball. And you can see him making an effort now to make sure he gets on top with his arm rather than throwing from the side.
Well, he and Ozzie Guillen are the closest of friends. A ground ball foul. Again, his fiancee, Glendys, Ozzie Guillen's wife, is his fiance's aunt. And this past offseason, the Guillens, Ozzie and his wife, and Freddy and his fiancee spent most of the offseason together. Right up leading into spring training.
And look at this. I mean, look how much harder he's throwing now, John, than he was in the first inning. I mean, that's the difference, and that's why he's being successful now, whereas in the first inning he was getting knocked around again. I mean, he's up to 94 miles an hour now.
Curveball going back in left field is Lee. It's over his head off the wall. The Karen comes back beyond it. And Orlando Cabrera has himself a double.
Well, he threw him a curveball last time up and he lined it to left field. So I think he was sitting on that curveball, and that one was not a real good one. Let's see where his arm angle is. That's pretty good. It's not quite over the top, but it's pretty good. And that ball's breaking down. I think he was just sitting on it. He gets the breaking ball and he hits it. So that's pretty good breaking ball right there, although it's not down as much as he would like, but it had sharp rotation. It had a good sharp break on it, good rotation.
So Cabrera, perhaps at long last, starting to feel a little more comfortable in his new surroundings.
And I think that is something, John, that we take for granted, that you move a player to a different environment and think he's just supposed to pick up and go from there. But it's much more difficult to play in Boston than it is in Montreal.
Manny Ramirez right to Joe Creedy. Creedy, after holding Cabrera, throws out Manny. Manny is 0 for 3 tonight, although he does have a run batted in.
Well, John, the expectations are much higher in Boston, you know, for you to perform than they are in Montreal. And that is an adjustment that you have to make when you go from a team that's lower in the division to a team that's fighting for a pennant. And I think it did take Cabrera a while, and he's probably still adjusting to that.
Well, for instance, just to, follow up on what you're saying, I mean, Manny's supposed to be an RBI guy, right?
Right.
Well, he had a runner in scoring position, and he grounds out to third.
Right.
I mean, what's the matter with him?
Well, it's funny because I was watching him the last few swings in batting practice. He was really pulling the ball. And again, I think that's because of what he's seen from Garcia in the past. Garcia has run the fastball in on him, I think, a lot. He was trying to turn on it and react to it. And if you watched him in these at-bats, he's always been trying to pull the ball. And I think that's because of the way he was pitched previously by Garcia. And that fastball there was kind of tailing in a little bit.
I don't know. I just hope he's not finished. Here's David Ortiz. He's doubled home a run and struck out. And that slider fouled. Backing out of play. 0-1 the count to Ortiz. Runner at second. 2 down. Boston ahead 4-0. We're in Chicago. Sunday night baseball. The Boston Red Sox trying to mount a comeback in the American League East. At one point they were 10.5 back of the Yanks. With a win tonight, they'll be 5.5 back of the Yankees. They're trying to sweep this series from the White Sox. They are leading 4-0 here with a 3-run first and another run in the second on a Doug Minkiewicz home run. They lead 4-0. Derek Lowe has shut out the White Sox on only 2 hits through 4 innings. There's Orlando Cabrera, who led with 1 out rather in this inning, hit a double. He's had 2 hits tonight. And Ortiz trying to knock him in against Freddy Garcia. And that breaking ball bounces in front of the plate, knocked down by Ben Davis. A nice save there by Ben.
John, we saw, Ozzie again making adjustments and helping Garcia make adjustments. And you say to yourself, why didn't he do that in the first inning when he was getting knocked around a little bit? Well, in the first inning, pitchers are trying to find their arm slot. They're trying to find where their highest velocity is, the best movement on their pitches. And I don't think you can make adjustments like that in the first inning. I mean, he has to find the spots first. Now you say, well, you're continuing to do this. Now you need to change and get back to where we want your arm slot.
Well, he's gone to 3-1 here. 85 pitches into the game. 3-1 to the dangerous Ortiz, but the hottest hitter around, Jason Varitek, is the man on deck. And he walks Ortiz. So that puts 2 men on with 2 men out. And here comes Varitek, who doubled home a run in the first inning, but then struck out in the third. Varitek was hitting about .450 in the month of August.
But I think that was one of those situations where you tried to get Ortiz to chase something out of the zone. He wouldn't. And he's not going to give in to David Ortiz. He's going to make Varitek have, he can start all over with a new count, and he's going to force Varitek to get a base hit instead of pitching to Ortiz.
And that's too high. Jim Palmer was always an advocate of that kind of pitching. If you fall behind a dangerous hitter, right, well, go ahead and pitch around him and start with a fresh count of the next guy. But now he's falling behind Varitek.
But
ball and no strikes.
There's a much difference 1-0 rather than 2-1. 2-0, so you can still throw a breaking ball. When you fall behind like 2-1 and you're still going after him, you're going to throw a fastball. Well, he didn't want to throw him a fastball, so you go ahead and throw the breaking ball to try to get him out. But a 1-0 count, you're not really behind, you know, in the count. If you're the pitcher, you think, hey, I just set that pitch up.
And a high pop-up. Shallow left center. Aaron Rowan to center field. And that's the inning. The Red Sox leave 2 men on. Stay tuned now. When we come back, we're going to chat from the dugout with Terry Francona, the Red Sox manager. Sunday Night Baseball from Chicago. The Red Sox lead the White Sox 4-0. And we are joined now from the Boston dugout by Red Sox manager Terry Francona. Terry, many thanks for coming on with us.
Okay, guys, no problem.
Now, Terry, I just wanted to ask you, what is the difference in this ball club now? You started off great, then you had a lull, played 500 ball for a couple of months. Now you're hot again. What's the difference?
Well, the biggest thing I think we put our finger on was we were so spotty defensively. We were giving teams extra outs, and not just extra outs, but extra opportunities. We were making it hard on our staff. It was hard to get on a roll. We'd play a good game, then we'd give one away, and we were so inconsistent. And the last, 3 or 4 weeks, we've been catching the ball. It's made our hitting, more timely because we're not giving extra outs. And again, we're just playing better baseball. We're giving ourselves a chance to win.
And Terry, very quickly, Orlando Cabrera, tough spot coming in, replacing Nomar at shortstop. How's he doing? We know he's hit well this week.
You know what? He's coming. His first 10 days or so, he was trying to get 3 hits in one at bat. Just, it's human nature. But he's playing the heck out of shortstop, and he's starting to swing the bat like we knew he would.
Terry, we're going to let you go back to work.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, Terry Francona. And again, our sincere appreciation to Terry for coming on live from the dugout during the ball game.
And I think the interesting thing there for me, John, was the fact that he said, they were giving teams extra outs. And I've talked over and over about you cannot do that in the game today. You give teams extra outs, and before you know it, they'll score 5 or 6 runs, not just 1.
But I think, and you've said that in the past, that maybe strong defense is more important now than maybe it's ever been.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is.
They started well, 15-6 in April. They had a 3.5 game lead. But in May and July, only 41-40. Then they made all those big trades at the trading deadline. They've gone 13-6 in the month of August. Although they've been playing well, particularly the last couple of weeks. A double clutch there by Orlando Cabrera. But he throws out Joe Creedy to start off the White Sox 5th inning. Ground ball out from Derek Lowe. And now Willie Harris, the leadoff man, will come up. Now, that was interesting, Joe. I mean, that was the interesting thing. Yeah. The interesting thing to me was his comment about Orlando Cabrera.
Okay. Well, that's why you asked your question. That's why I asked mine.
I thought it was really interesting what he said about Cabrera. Here's Willie Harris. I mean, I really didn't even hear what he said about your question because I was trying to formulate my question.
Yeah, but I don't think there's any doubt that, it was tough for Cabrera.
I was going to ask you to
recap.
Under a
microscope.
I was going to ask you to recap his answer to you. Slider off the outside to Willie Harris. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. You see over at third base, Bill Miller in on the edge of the grass because Harris has great speed. And that sinker is too low. 2-1 the count.
John, there's one other thing I would, like to say about the Boston Red Sox. I think you have to give Manny Ramirez a lot of credit for the way that he handled all the offseason stuff, and didn't let it affect him.
Harris has himself a base hit over the infield. Hit number 3 for the White Sox.
And, it would have been easy for him to be upset because they're trying to trade him, and they ended up keeping him. But he's doing the same thing he's always done, and he's gone out and played. He hasn't said anything derogatory about the management or anything like that. And so you have to give him a lot of credit for that. And by the same token, I also understand Nomar's situation. Nomar Garcia played here all those years. He was the guy. I mean, he came up through their farm system. He did everything. And all of a sudden, he was being pushed aside. So it was more difficult, in my opinion, for him to make the adjustment and be okay than it would have been for Manny. Remember, Manny was a free agent. He came there as a free agent. But Nomar came up through the system, and I just felt like it was going to be difficult for Nomar to stay there because he had given so much to the ball club. So I understood his situation more than I did Manny.
Well, even before they were going to possibly trade him to Texas for Alex Rodriguez, They put him on irrevocable waivers. Any team could have had him just by picking up the rest of his contract without giving up any player in exchange at all. Which is, I mean, that's a real slap in the face.
Correct. And I think that, you know, hey, I just, as a player, and remember this, I don't care what anybody tells you. If you're a star, a superstar, you've got an ego. That's what makes you a superstar. You have to have that ego to want to be better than everybody else, to play better. And you have the, you know, that ego. And I think he was slighted a little bit, and I think he felt that way.
Deep to third, Bill Miller over to second, not in time. And I think that was his only hope, but Willie Harris has such great speed that he beat the throw. Rowan, who also runs well, he was going to beat him to first base had he gone there.
Well, it was a longer throw for Miller to go to first base when he backed up. But I think that when you realize that Harris is the runner at first base, you might be better off taking your chance going to first base, because Harris is there easily. Now watch, Miller has to back up. That's what makes this a tough play. See, he can't come get it. Now this is a long throw to first base, so he takes the short throw to second base, but he can't get it there.
Now Carlos Lee into left center, medium deep, caught by Damon, and the runners will have to hold. So out number 2 on one pitch, Carlos Lee retired. Let's get an update now. Here's Dave Revson.
Thank you, John. Giants and the Mets, you showed the historic Bonds homer earlier, hit one today as well. A 2-run shot in the first, 35th of the year, 693 on his career, so 21 shy of the Babe. San Fran wins it by the final of 3-1.
All right, 693 for Bonds. He's now 21 from Babe Ruth.
Man. Interesting, because we'll be in Atlanta next week, and I'm hoping that Hank Aaron's going to join us. I talked to him last week, but he was out of town when we were there. Well, and he was hoping he would be in town this week when we're there.
We'll be in Atlanta next week, and Barry Bonds will be in Atlanta next week. We'll catch up with Bonds and the Giants next Sunday night. Presented by McDonald's, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The Giants, Felipe Alou's Giants, who are right there leading the wild card race, and Bobby Cox's Atlanta Braves, who are well ahead in the Eastern Division race. That's a foul. There was a possibility that Jason Schmidt was going to be able to pitch that game next Sunday. But Schmidt, the ace right-hander, the great ace of the Giants, strained a groin muscle covering first base the other night. And it does not look as though he'll be able to start Tuesday. Probably he's going to be moved back to start Saturday in Atlanta. So if he pitched Tuesday, he would have been due up on Sunday. That ball is hit a mile by Konerko, and forget about it. And suddenly it's a 1-run game. Number 31 for Konerko, and now it's 4-3 Boston.
I don't know exactly what the pitch was, but it was up. I don't think it was a sinker, but it was definitely up in the zone. Well, it looked like a little slider. A little slide piece about thigh high. Yeah.
So Paul Konerko with his 31st homer. I guess the guy doesn't give up too many home runs. That ball into center field, and Carl Everett is promptly retired. It's now 4-3 as we head to the 6th. When we come back, we'll visit with White Sox manager Ozzie Guillen live from the Chicago dugout.
Wouldn't it be great if you could pay off all those high-interest credit cards and get extra cash for you? Call AmeriQuest now. We help homeowners do just that by refinancing their mortgage. You'll get your own personal loan specialist who knows you're more than your credit score. Call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
School can be rough on your PC. That's why why Dell protects you with award-winning service and support 24/7. And for a little more, our accidental damage service protects you from just about anything else.
Right now, get this Dimension desktop with the power and performance of an Intel Pentium 4 processor. It's yours for the amazing price of $495 after instant savings. Plus, get a free printer and free 2-day shipping. Easy as Dell. Dell PCs use Intel Pentium 4 processors.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
4-3, Red Sox lead the White Sox. Top of the 6th inning coming up, and we're joined now from the Chicago dugout by Ozzie Guillen, the White Sox manager. And Ozzie, again, many thanks for agreeing to come on with us tonight.
Well, Ozzie, I was going to ask you a question. How have you tried to make up for the loss of Ordonez and Frank Thomas? Have you tried to hit and run more? What have you done?
Well, we have to try play the little game. You know, I got more speed with the guys. Obviously, not having Frank and Maglio here hurt the lineup, but you know, we have to try to get on base a little bit more and try to make something happen in the base pass.
Ozzie, there was talk that you might go with a 4-man starting rotation sometime soon. Is that a possibility?
Well, right now we have to stay close in the pennant race. I think next week it's going to be really important for us, and if we stay close, and we have to face Minnesota a couple times in Cleveland, I think if we stay close, we have a chance.
All right. Ozzie, again, many thanks for coming on with us.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks. All right. Ozzie's got to get back to work now. Paul Konerko brought the White Sox right back into this game with one swing of his bat. Here's Kevin Millar against Freddy Garcia, and that is a called strike on the inside. Garcia, not the same pitcher after the first inning. I mean, he was struggling big time early on. The Red Sox put 3 runs and 4 hits on him right away in that first inning. Minkiewicz led off the second inning with a solo homer. But since then, he has allowed only 1 hit. And he's throwing harder. His breaking stuff is much crisper. Like that one. Hard biting slider. Too low, though. 2-1 the count. Three and 1 the count now to Kevin Millar.
Well, it's really important for Garcia here to shut the Red Sox down now that he's gotten back in the game. And he wants to give his hitters a chance to get right back at Derek Lowe. You do not want to have an extended inning here.
Well, he immediately walks Kevin Millar. Second straight time that Millar has walked. The batter will be Bill Miller. Let's go to Gary Miller. Gary?
John and Joe, we heard Ozzie talk about the 4-man rotation. He didn't really give a definitive answer on that. They'd love to do it, but it's going to be hard. Pitching coach Don Cooper told me this week that the 2 worst outings of the year, Garcia and Burley each having those, was maybe because they've got dead arm syndrome, that they're a little tired and worn out. So going to a 4-man with only 1 scheduled off day the rest of the way could be very tough for them to do, but that 5th starter has been a black hole for them.
I mean, it's been unbelievable, the lack of success they've had from the number 5 starter, not just this year, but the last 2 years. I think the last 2 years, their 5th starters, when you put them all together, are 6 and 25. 2 and 11 this year. And Miller takes too high, and all of a sudden, Garcia cannot find the strike zone here in the 6th inning. The top 4 starters this year, 10 games over 500. The 5th starters, 2 and 11, and look at that ERA of almost 11 earned runs per 9 innings for the 5th starters. 6 wins, 25 losses the last 2 years. I mean, that's been the enigma of the White Sox. Just unable to find that 5th starter, somebody who can even keep them in the game some of the time.
Well, the problem, I mean, if you get right back in the game as the White Sox did, and all of a sudden, you know, you can't throw a strike, you can see why Don Cooper was on the phone to the bullpen. You know, you can't let this game slip away easily after you fought back to get in the game.
Doug Minkiewicz is on deck. 3-1 the count. This could be 2. Harris to second 1. Valentine to first. Double play.
The first throw on a double play is always the most important. And Harris does a great job of feeding the ball quickly and perfectly to Valentine. All he had to do is catch it and make the throw. Now, this was a chopper, so it wasn't that easy. And watch how quickly he gets it to him right there. Perfect feed and a perfect turnover by Valentine.
The 2 down, and here's Minkiewicz with the bases empty. There's Willie Harris, who made the feed on the front end of that double play. Minkiewicz homered his first time and then struck out in the 4th inning on one of those wicked breaking balls from Freddy Garcia. Minkiewicz with his first home run as a member of the Red Sox. And that's foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Doug Minkiewicz.
A lot of people think that the pivot is always the important thing, and it is in most cases, but you start the double play by getting a good feed, whether it's the shortstop feeding the second baseman or the second baseman feeding the shortstop. See where that feed was? Right about chest high, and all he has to do is catch it and throw it from there.
Deep right center field. Rowan going back. Now he squares up. And the inning's over. Started poorly for Garcia, but he recovered nicely. 4-3 Boston.
Excuse me. Hi. Can I see that laptop?
Sure. You can access the internet all around your house. It's wireless networking.
Did you say wireless?
I'm free, not just a puppet on the screen.
Have your wireless network installed at home with the help of Geek Squad, available at Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours.
Today, my cat's chair fell from the roof. Umbrellas shiver under fingernails. Beaches and ponds.
Ron and Sean are speaking in code, trading insider information which will help you win your fantasy football league. On August 28th, we'll share our fantasy picks along with other inside dirt you can only get from ESPN Fantasy Football Forecast.
Coming August 28th on ESPN Pay-Per-View.
ESPN Fantasy Football Forecast presented by Chevrolet. To order, call DirecTV or Dish Network.
Hey, do you like Baby Ruth?
Yeah.
Do you like bowling? Well, now, for a limited time, when you buy a bag of Baby Ruth, you get a free game of bowling. Buy another bag and get another free game. Another bag, another free game. You can get millions of free games in the Baby Ruth free bowling giveaway. Just look for specially marked bags of fun size, 10 packs, and minis, and get your free game of bowling today. Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal.
If a concert hall can be acoustically tuned, if a 60,000-seat stadium can have a retractable roof, if an 80-ton bullet train can glide on air, why not your SUV? At GMC, our engineers don't just ask questions, they have answers. The GMC Envoy line of SUVs, professional-grade engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
Log on to MLB.com to follow baseball live on the web with MLB.com's real-time stats, game day audio, and MLB.tv. MLB.com, where baseball is always on.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by McDonald's. I'm John Level, Joe Morgan. We're in Chicago. The White Sox trying to come from behind in this game and in the Central Division American League pennant race. They need a win tonight, and they need a lot of wins from here until the end of the season as Valentin bunts it foul. Valentin, the second leading home run hitter for the White Sox this year. He's got 26 home runs. So there he's trying to bunt with Ben Davis coming up next. Trying to get on against Derek Lowe. Although Lowe gave up that 3-run homer to Canerco in the 5th inning, he doesn't give up too many ordinarily.
Well, that's because he throws the sinker most of the time. But we can see he's not throwing nearly as many sinkers tonight as we've seen in the past few years.
And there's a sinker. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And you can see a big difference in his sinker and his slider and his fastball. His fastball, the four-seamer, does not move that much. And his breaking ball, his curveball is not that big, that sharper break either.
Outside with the breaking ball, 2-2. Well, he has only recorded 6 ground ball outs tonight. When he's got it rolling, he'll have a lot more than that. He's had 15 outs. Only 40% have been ground balls. Ordinarily, he's about 2/3 of all of his outs on ground balls. That one is grounded foul down the right field line. Right past Rafael Santana, the first base coach for the White Sox. 2-2 the count to Valentin. Ben Davis and Joe Borchard to follow. The Twins won their ball game over Cleveland. The Twins, they're winning almost every day right now. They have really roughed up Cleveland the last couple of weekends. Cleveland's lost 7 in a row now.
It was funny. Cleveland got within 1 game, and then they lost in extra innings. They could have tied Minnesota when they were in Cleveland, and they have not played well since that game.
They've not been able to recover from that 1 game. That's right. Bellhorn throws out Valentine. 1 away in the 6th inning. 4-3. Boston leading the White Sox. In the Central, the Twins now by 7 over the fading Cleveland Indians. I mean, Cleveland could have gone into first place if they'd won that game you're talking about. The White Sox 7.5 out, so they need to win tonight just to stay or move into a tie with Cleveland for 2nd place in the division. And that's a ball outside to Ben Davis. Ben Davis is 0 for 2. The White Sox still have 6 games left with the Minnesota Twins. So if they can get within, what, 4 games or so, or 5 games going into September, they'll have a shot at it. But they have to do it soon. They can't afford to fall any further behind. I think they're 8-18 their last 26 games as Davis bounces one foul.
John, I think one of the biggest fallacies in the game, though, is that, well, I have 9 games left, with the team I'm chasing. Well, if you only win 6 out of those 9, you're only gaining 3 games. Or if you end up splitting, or you can't split the 9, but if you split these games, I mean, you don't gain anything. So it's not always best to be playing the team that you're chasing, because if you can't beat them consecutively, in consecutive games, you're not going to gain anything.
2-2 the count.
And I think it's difficult for anybody to sweep Minnesota now because of Santana, the way he's pitching. I mean, it's going to be very difficult just to go out and sweep them.
The White Sox have 6 games left with the Twins starting in mid-September. They've also got 4 games left with Cleveland, and that comes up soon.
Well, remember last year they were only a game behind Minnesota, and they lost like 6 in a row to them. So it's not always best to be playing the team that you're chasing.
Bellhorn's got it up to his feet, and he throws out the catcher. Ben Davis had those catcher's legs going there.
But by the same token, if you are the team that's chasing the other team, you want to have that opportunity. I mean, you want to know that if I can get hot and win, 4 or 5 games in a row, I can make a dent in that lead. But it's not always as easy as people think when you're playing the team that you're chasing.
Earl Weaver used to say in a spot like this, this Orioles with, they'd be 6 games out or whatever with 7 weeks to play, and he'd say, all we have to do is gain 1 game a week and we beat them.
Exactly.
And Lou Piniella would say, he says, I'd read that, I think, man, we're in trouble. The inning is over. Borchard grounds out to short. 3 ground ball outs for Lowe.
Nissan Altima, sleek lines. Xterra, aggressive lines. Frontier, riveting lines. Of all the thrilling lines that Nissan brings you, this may be the most interesting. The bottom line at the Nissan National Sales Event. Get 1% financing or up to $2,500 cash back on select new Nissans. But hurry, September 7th is the end of the line. See your Nissan dealer now.
To cure athlete's foot, you've got to be fast on your feet. And nothing lets you treat faster than Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. If you use Tinactin or Lotrimin AF, you'll be treating for 4 long weeks. Who's going to do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week is proven to kill the fungus and keep you athlete's foot free for 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
When Stan Ross got his 3,000th hit, he made history and he became Mr. 3000.
Bring the whole family to Mr. 3000 shopping center.
But 10 years later, his life changed. 3 of the hits don't count.
What type of bull is that?
Now, give him 3 more hits. The comeback begins.
What do you say, Grandpa?
Grandpa. Bernie Mac.
First week at bat was like his first week out of the womb. A whole lot of just flailing around.
Mr. 3000, rated PG-13.
Press 1.
Inside every can of Minwax is the secret to enhancing wood's natural beauty. Minwax rich wood stains and long-lasting protective finishes make it easy to turn any house into a beautiful home. Minwax, making wood beautiful for 100 years.
Yeah, that's right. My check card was stolen. You spent $1,280? No, it's just I'm going on vacation in a week.
If your check card is ever lost or stolen and used.
So how long will it take to get my money back? Tomorrow?
We'll put back the missing money next business day.
Tomorrow's...
Guaranteed.
Tomorrow's great.
Bank of America. Higher standards.
Here's Mark Bellhorn taking a curveball from Freddy Garcia for ball 1. Bellhorn, the ninth place hitter, has struck out twice against Garcia tonight. By the way, that was the 103rd pitch thrown by Freddy. Changeup swung on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Damon and Cabrera will follow, and the White Sox bullpen is getting ready now. Out beyond the left field wall. That is a called strike 2 down around the knees. White Sox have Cliff Polite, the right-hander, and Neil Kotz, the left-hander, getting ready just in case they're needed here. And too low with another changeup. By the way, Aaron Rowan did get credit for a hit. Fisher scored, changed his mind back in the 5th inning when Willie Harris beat that throw from Bill Miller to second base. The official score has ruled that that is a hit for Rowan. And there's that great slider, strike 3. He's gotten Bellhorn 3 straight times. Welcome to the south side of Chicago. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. And the Boston Red Sox going for the sweep in this series. The Red Sox have started to rev it up a bit. They have a chance to move to within 5.5 games of the Yankees in the Eastern Division, which appear to be all but lost just a few days ago. They were as many as 10.5 back of the Yanks. Yanks got swept this weekend by Anaheim, and the Red Sox trying to sweep the White Sox here in Chicago. But after building a 4-0 lead the first 2 innings back of Derek Lowe, the Red Sox lead is now 1. Paul Konerko with a 3-run homer in the 5th to tighten it up as Johnny Damon is thrown out in a nice play by Jose Valentin. Damon is now 1 for 4. His 1 hit started that 3-run first inning rally. So now here is Orlando Cabrera. And Cabrera is having his first strong week with the bat for the Red Sox. And tonight he is singled in that 3-run first inning rally. Also doubled in the 5th inning. And the one time he made it out, he had a line shot to Carlos Lee in the field. So he's 2 for 3. First ball swinging and a foul off to the right. And it is 0-1. But Joe, you're talking about the difference of playing in Montreal, where Cabrera was unhappy, although Frank Robinson and the people with the Expos, Omar Minaya, the GM, said they don't believe it affected his play, but it was very clear that he wanted out of there, that he was fed up with the whole Expos situation, Major League Baseball ownership, the team playing home games in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and now he's in Boston where everything is scrutinized.
Yeah. But I think a lot of the players are fed up with it. I mean, it's a tough situation.
But I mean, they're playing, and they're sort of the orphans of baseball.
Right.
Now he's playing for this historic franchise that has millions of fans, not just in New England, but all around the country, who scrutinize everything that you do. And he comes into a big spotlight, filling in the position manned by a Boston folk hero.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Nomar fans are still there, too, A lot of fans are still there saying we shouldn't have traded Nomar.
A lot of them were wearing Nomar jerseys to Fenway Park as a way of protesting.
Yeah.
And as a Red Sox fan, he's dressed for a game at Fenway, that young fan. 2-2 the count to Orlando Cabrera. That is foul past third. And the ball dude makes a nice pickup on that. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, nobody on. In the Boston 7th inning, Freddy Garcia, who had his worst start last Tuesday against Detroit, 9 runs allowed, 4 1/3 innings, 4 home runs. Then he gave up 3 in the first, 1 in the second tonight. But since then, he's back to being Freddy Garcia. He's got the great stuff going now. The Red Sox have not, even as hot as they've been, have not been able to add to their total. They've had only 1 hit since Minkiewicz led off the second inning with a home run. Garcia Now at 115 pitches for the game, so he may be at about the end of his tenure on the mound tonight. That slider stayed right out of the middle of the plate, fouled back to the screen by Cabrera. Manny Ramirez on deck. He would be next. Cabrera, who led, there's Manny. Cabrera, who led all National League shortstops in extra base hits last year. I mean, slick fielder, as you pointed out at the beginning of the telecast, Joe. He once won a Gold Glove in the National League. Ortiz in the hole with Manny on deck. Cabrera trying to keep this inning going to get to those guys. 3-2 the count. The battle continues. Slider. Valentin. And in a 3-up, 3-down inning, Garcia retiring 17 of the last 21 batters he faced, allowing just one hit in that time.
Ramada announces trip rewards with more places to earn points and more ways to redeem them. It's as easy as Ramada, a very good place to be.
S'mores in a cup. Sonic's got them, others don't. Introducing Sonic's new S'mores Blast, made with real Hershey S'mores candy bars. Drive in tonight and get any of our Sonic Blasts. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
7 years ago, Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines literally saved my life. I simply wouldn't be here without them. Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are focused on our most serious diseases with revolutionary treatments for cancer and AIDS. These researchers dedicate their lives to fighting our most serious diseases. And these medicines can make the difference for millions of us. I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
Sorry, my Francis got off key.
Cox Communications and Playhouse Disney invite you and your child to explore the fun of learning online. Access your favorite stories and educational activities faster with Cox high-speed internet service. Watch streaming video and download files instantly. And if you order Cox high-speed internet online today, you'll also receive a $50 Disney Store gift card and be automatically entered to win a brand new laptop computer and 1 year of Cox high-speed internet service. To order, go to your local Cox.com website.
Can I tell you a secret? My man takes Levitra. Let's just say he notices a difference in the experience. Like, we should do this more often difference. Why Levitra? Levitra helps improve erectile quality for men with ED. For my guy, Levitra works fast. And it gives him the quality response that he wants, time and again. It's why he counts on Levitra.
Levitra is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Levitra if you take nitrates for chest pains or alpha blockers for prostate problems or high blood pressure, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, and stuffy or runny nose. In the rare case an erection lasts for more than 4 hours, seek immediate medical attention.
My man takes Levitra. It's about the quality. And for him, Levitra works. Just look at that smile. Talk to your doctor today. Levitra. Quality when it counts.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by McDonald's. Brought to you by Lowe's, where you'll find all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, improving home improvement. And the U.S. Department of Transportation. You drink and drive, you lose.
Back here in Chicago, big crowd on the south side for the White Sox and the Red Sox. 4-3, Boston leading as we go to the last of the 7th inning. Here's the Lowe's home team advantage. And the wild card home record, the Red Sox, among all the combatants in the wild card race, have the best home record, 40-21. The Rangers have done real well in their home ballpark. And the Angels have not done really that well at all in their home ballpark. That's the Lowe's home team advantage. And the Rangers have more home games left than either the Red Sox or the Angels. Joe Crede, the 9th place hitter, facing Derek Lowe. He's 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. And quickly he's ahead of the count, 2-0 the count. Willie Harris, the leadoff man, and then Aaron Rowan due up next. There's Harris on deck. Both bullpens are working right now. White Sox starter Garcia now at 117 pitches may be finished. There's Curtis Leskanik, the right-hander, warming up in the Boston bullpen. 2-1 the count. That ball is hit sharply to Miller. Out number 1.
Nice play there by Bill Miller. Stayed down on it, which is the key. When the ball's low, you have to get down there with it. This is a smash. And you can see he stays down. And he has plenty of time after he gets up. Watch this. Now here's the thing. See how he stays down on it? If you just reach across your body, a lot of times that ball will hit off your arm or your glove and keep going. He got down to ground ball level on that pitch, on that ground ball.
Here's Willie Harris, and he takes a strike. Bill Miller, who married the daughter of Barry Bonds' high school baseball coach. Are you with me on this one?
Well, you're into these marriages and nephews and aunts and uncles tonight, right? You know, I mean,
you don't think that's fascinating?
Well, I tell you, it might be fascinating if I could follow it all.
His wife, Amy.
Okay.
Her dad was Barry Bonds' high school baseball coach.
See, now that's okay because you put some names with it. Amy married Bill Miller. You see what I mean? Now I can follow.
Okay.
I'm following now. Amy married Bill Miller. See, I understand that. But when you say he married his baseball coach's daughter, I didn't understand that, but I do understand Amy.
Bill Miller
and
his
Bill
wife,
Miller.
His wife, yeah. Amy Miller.
Right, I understand that. See, now you got me.
Bill and Amy Miller.
Thank you. See, that's better.
All right. Yeah. That one is going to go through. Base hit. Aaron Rowan with a single to left. That's the third straight time he's been on base. His second hit. He's also had a walk. And now Carlos Lee, one of the sluggers, comes up. The White Sox have been battling back in this one ever since the very beginning of the game. The Red Sox jumped ahead with a 3-run first inning. They got another run in the second. We're ahead 4-0 until the 5th inning when Paul Konerko hit a 3-run homer, and it was a blast. Big fly.
Big fly. True big fly.
So it's 4-3 now. And here's Carlos Lee. That ball into right field. Way back there. That ball is gone. A home run. And the White Sox have gone ahead 5-4. The 24th home run of the year for Carlos Lee, an opposite field shot that will send Derek Lowe to the showers, it appears. Terry Francona is going to bring in Leskanik. Lee goes deep. The White Sox have turned it completely around, and we'll be back.
Noticeably perfect. The Range Rover by Land Rover. Special lease and finance rates available.
Sir, I detect the presence of alcohol. Have you been drinking this evening?
Not really.
1 or 2?
Just a few.
Step out of the car, sir. Step out of the car.
Step out of the car, please.
Across the country, cops are cracking down. No matter where you drive, if you drive impaired, you will be arrested. It's simple.
You drink, you drive, you lose.
I am high up in a tree here at the beautiful Rich Guy Open. I'm kidding you. I'm beside the 18th where McMaster is about to tee off. And, you know, he can't really decide what club to hit. His caddy is pointing. There's the green up there, which is a big help to hire a caddy so they can point to where the hole is. And McMaster has this nasty habit of throwing grass in the air. It's like we've got a live 6-foot gopher. Hot Shots Golf. For golf for the people. Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation 2, now just $149.
See, kids, this is key. Everyone got their mean faces? All right, now step and kick your leg up real high. That's awesome. That's perfect. That's it right there. Oh, no. You want to go again?
Boys and Girls Clubs is the official charity of Major League Baseball.
Oh, that's scary.
Together, they create a positive place for kids.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by McDonald's. Brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
And Curtis Lescanic comes in to face Konerko. Konerko grounds out to second on the first pitch, and this inning is over just like that. But a couple of home runs, a 3-run shot by Konerko in the 5th, a 2-run homer by Lee here in the 7th, and suddenly the White Sox are leading 5-4. Manny and Ortiz coming up.
You never know who has the potential to achieve great things. So when it's time to refinance, AmeriQuest Mortgage will look at more than just your credit score. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more. And proud sponsor of baseball in homes everywhere.
Remember that guy who used to be called Wild Thing? Yeah, that guy. He's back. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
Come to Lowe's and open a window to your imagination. Lowe's stocks more window treatments than anyone else in the country. From faux wood plantation blinds to Waverly coordinates to bamboo Roman shades, Lowe's is the place. We'll even custom cut level lower blinds while you shop. And Lowe's promises low prices every day, guaranteed. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Spend $125 on custom size now or Springs blinds. Get a $25 gift card free.
Announcing Saab's 2004 model year closeout event. A great time to get your new Saab. Turbocharged performance, world-class safety features, and no-charge scheduled maintenance. Get it all. Including this great closeout offer. During Saab's 2004 model year closeout, lease a new 2004 Saab 9.3 linear sports sedan starting at $259 a month. Welcome to the state of independence.
Go beyond the boardroom and inside TV's fiercest competition.
I can't stand you.
Plus, get an exclusive in-depth reveal of the new season.
We have the smartest young people anywhere in the country.
The Apprentice on DVD Tuesday.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated.
Manny Ramirez, first ball swinging back to the wall. Tied up. And the many Red Sox fans here in Chicago make themselves heard. Manny Ramirez on the 118th pitch thrown by Freddy Garcia launches one, his 11th RBI of this series. And just like that, the Red Sox tie the game, the 33rd home run of the year for Manny.
Well, that's what makes Manny Ramirez Manny Ramirez. You get him out a certain way for a few at-bats, and then he makes an adjustment. And this is a high fastball, and he drills it to center field. Left center, just a little bit off of the straightaway center field, and there was no doubt when he hit it.
Well, Freddy Garcia likely was only left in there by Ozzie Guillen to face Manny. The left-hander Marte coming in to face Ortiz.
All right, you guys, if you keep up this behavior, I'm not having lunch with you anymore. No, you cannot have my chicken selects. Joey, I don't even have the box open 2 seconds, and you're going for my chicken selects? Mike, do you think I didn't see that? There is an electrical fence around my chicken selects. You've got the little electrical things on your neck, and you get too close, that's what's gonna happen to you. Nothing to see here at all. It's just chicken selects. We're having a little lunch. McDonald's is open, people. Get your own. I think we've all learned a very valuable lesson here today.
behind-the-scenes weekend. This is SportsCenter, Friday at 10 on ESPN. And college football behind the scenes, Saturday at 7:30 on ESPN2. Simulcast live with Virginia Tech USC on ESPN.
The game starts the minute you walk into the house. I'm looking for one person to impress me with qualities that I feel are important in a person, so I can make sure I give that money to the right person. Let's play.
When I say I'm going to do something, consider it done. When I say I'm going to pay you, start thinking about how you want to spend the money. I want the same from my bank.
Maximum Strength Checking from Bank One.
When I pay a bill online, I want it to get there when you promise it's going to get there. Click that little button. It's the last thing I worry about. It's done. Zero doubt, over and out.
Maximum Strength Checking. Online, on time. Guaranteed bill pay. Only from Bank One.
I'm Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and I'm under a vicious attack by my opponent. He wants to close Tent City. Doing that puts more criminals on our streets and costs you over $91 million. Inmate advocates who support my opponent want to pamper inmates, give them cable TV, cigarettes, coffee, pornography. Closing Tent City is his idea of good management. We're tough on criminals. Let's keep it that way. My opponent is wrong, and he's wrong for sheriff. I need your vote on September 7th.
There is the 29-year-old Damaso Marte, the left-hander out of the Dominican Republic. And you see his numbers for this season. And David Ortiz, Jason Varitek, Kevin Millar, the next three hitters due up. Don't have a whole lot of experience against him, nor have they had a whole lot of success in the few chances they've had. So here is Ortiz, the left-handed slugger. He rips one. Right center. On its way. And Boston has gone ahead. 2 pitches into the 8th inning. And the great Boston sluggers, Ramirez and Ortiz, each launch one, each on one pitch. 6-5, Boston back ahead.
Man, these guys are hot. And they're pretty good, too. That pitch was up. It looked like it might have been a little slide piece, but it was up. It didn't do very much, and he just hit a line drive into the seats in right field.
Number 31 for Ortiz.
A little slider, that's what it was. A little slide piece right at the top of the strike zone there. You can see it spinning, and that's about all he was doing, was spinning, and he straightened it out.
On Jason Varitek, the red-hot Varitek. He's had an RBI double in this game. David Ortiz had been struggling. Struggling. Over his last 14.
That's struggling for him. You know, these guys are not used to going more than a day or so without a base hit.
Tonight he's had an RBI double and now a big home run. That breaking ball is ripped into center field, and Marte left that one up and fat. Second hit of the game for Varitek. That's an average game for him now. 2 for 4. And Don Cooper calling the White Sox bullpen. Cliff Polite is already up out there.
Well, the one thing you have to do if you're a manager, as Ozzie Guillen is against the Boston Red Sox, and you get late in the ball game, you have to go hitter by hitter. And I'm sure he was just going to let Freddy Garcia pitch to Manny Ramirez and then bring Marte in to pitch to David Ortiz. But guess what? It didn't work either way.
So Cliff Polite is going to come in now. Still nobody out of the inning. 2 homers and a single to start the inning. Boston ahead 6-5.
There's a power so awesome, so irresistible, you'll do anything to get your hands on it. Introducing Gillette M3 Power. Turn on the first battery-powered shaving system from Gillette and turn on the amazing new Power Glide blades. Micropulses raise the hair so you shave closer in one power stroke. Feel the power of the world's best shave. For maximum power, change the battery every 6 months. New M3 Power from Gillette.
Surviving cancer is still the biggest victory of my life. And I did it with the help of 3 Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines.
Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are fighting our most serious diseases. Their life-saving medicines have turned many cancer patients into cancer survivors. Medicines for AIDS, heart disease, and serious mental illness reflect their commitment to research and to extending and enhancing human life.
I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, in the miracle of medicine. Bristol Myers Squibb Company.
Wouldn't it be great if you could pay off all those high-interest credit cards and get extra cash for you? Call AmeriQuest now. We help homeowners do just that by refinancing their mortgage. You'll get your own personal loan specialist who knows you're more than your credit score. Call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
Red Sox 6, White Sox 5. A game that has taken some explosive shifts here in the last couple of innings. There's Cliff Polite, 30-year-old right-hander, born in St. Louis, which is not far from Chicago. Cliff Polite has been in 50 games this year, and right now the White Sox need an out. Ramirez homered, Ortiz homered, and then Varitek singled. Varitek at first, nobody out, and a slider for a strike to Kevin Millar, who has grounded out and twice walked in this game. I'm talking about a volcanic shift in this game. In the span of 4 pitches, there were 3 home runs hit. The 2-run shot by Lee that put the White Sox ahead. On the next pitch, Konerko grounded out to end the White Sox 7th. And then the first 2 pitches of the 8th inning hit for home runs by Ramirez and Ortiz. That's an astonishing 4-pitch sequence right there in 2 different innings. 3 homers and a ground out, and then Varitek with a single. Kevin Millar standing in. There goes Varitek. The throw down. And they got it. Willie Harris putting on the tag.
Well, I guess they were just trying to put somebody in motion, but obviously I don't think Kevin Millar got the sign if it was a hit and run. You don't see a catcher trying to steal second base too often. I would think that might have been a hit and run, but never know.
Well, Red Sox catchers, Joe, run all the time. Actually, you know, Varitek has run. He has 7 steals. Red Sox, as a team, has stolen 45 bases this year. So now 1 out, nobody on. 3-1 the count to Millar. It did seem like a hit and run scenario, though.
Yes, it did.
Millar into left center field, fairly deep but playable. Rowan, and that is out number 2. But at this point, any pitch that stays in the ballpark is a good pitch for White Sox pitching. There's Dave Roberts welcoming Millar back to the dugout. Dave Roberts, the former Dodger, still kind of astounded that he's now a Red Sox. He says he loves the clubhouse. He loves the camaraderie of the players in that clubhouse, but he's still a little mystified, and I think underneath all of that, probably a little hurt still.
Yeah, because
he's no longer a Dodger,
and he's not getting a chance to play.
He's an extra guy here in Boston.
I mean, he was a part of the Dodger, winning streaks. He was a catalyst for things there, and here, like you say, he's an extra guy.
Willie Harris throws out Bill Miller. Miller 0 for 4 in this one. But Boston, the big guys strike. The Red Sox lead 6-5.
This summer, we're serving up day fresh beer all over America. Where will you find it? Just look for the crowds. The freshest beer in America. Fresh beer tastes better.
Hey, Dad. The wedding's here in the backyard. We've got 3 months.
Well, why don't we start with lumber? Yeah. I've got the fencing, the paint. I need new carpet, too. And you drill a pilot hole. And make sure that goes into the 2x4. So this is your oldest daughter? She's my only daughter.
For 25 years,
The Home Depot has been the one place for know-how, confidence, ready, and helping dreams come true.
That's so beautiful.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
State third, Taco Bell's chicken quesadilla. Now? It's a bit more portable than your average lunch. The chicken quesadilla from Taco Bell. Grilled all-white meat chicken and 3 melted cheeses neatly folded inside a tortilla for a taste that goes anywhere.
Yeah, good luck.
To get the chicken quesadilla, think outside the bun. Spice up the night. Open till midnight or later.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by McDonald's. Brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
John Miller and Joe Morgan with you in Chicago. The White Sox trailing the Red Sox again, 6-5. And there were an explosive 8th inning for the Red Sox. Manny Ramirez, the great slugger. First pitch of the inning, tied it up.
Well, that was a slider that was right in the middle of the plate. Here's another slider that's not in the middle, but it's up, and Ortiz hits it out. So 2 hanging sliders were the reasons that the White Sox lost the lead on those 2 pitches.
Now, Barry Bonds was sitting at home watching this. He has to be wondering, now how is it that those guys are so dangerous and so good, and yet they even see hanging sliders? When what he usually sees are 4 wide ones. Here's Carl Everett, and he takes ball 1 from Curtis Lescottic. The White Sox, by the way, have now allowed 96 home runs in their 64 home games. I mean, there have been more home runs hit in this ballpark this year than in any other ballpark. Dave Kapler now in right field, by the way, replacing Kevin Millar. The White Sox have hit 111 home runs in their 64 home games. They've hit 72 homers in the road, and they've hit 111 at home. The differential between home runs hit and allowed in White Sox home games versus road games is the largest of any team. Everett thought he had the walk, but it was called a strike. Been 32% more home runs in the home games for the White Sox than in the road games. Along the left field line. So no lead is safe. Not, are you kidding? A 1-run lead? What's that? That's a 1 swing of the bat in this ballpark. Been an average of 3.2 home runs in White Sox home games this year by the Sox and their opponents. 32% higher than their road games. Wrigley Field has been the next most explosive home run ballpark. The differential is 27% between home and road. Carl Everett gets a walk to start the 8th inning. Now here's a look at who's gaining power, brought to you by Gillette M3 Power. And the top American League home run tandems. Ramirez, Ortiz, 64 they've hit between them. A-Rod and Sheffield, 61. And right here in Chicago, Konerko and Valentin, 57. And Teixeira and Blaylock in Texas. There's Mike Myers, the left-hander who comes from down under, on to face Valentin. We'll be right back.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Let's get off the field right now! Yeah! Sooner or later, you're going to have to play football, big boy. Just snap the ball. Is this what you want? This belongs to the defense.
10 yards has never seemed so far. Now you'll fear the D. Madden NFL 2005, rated for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
To cure athlete's foot, you've got to be fast on your feet. And nothing lets you treat faster than Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. If you use Tinactin or Lotrimin AF, you'll be treating for 4 long weeks. Who's going to do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week is proven to kill the fungus and keep you athlete's foot free for 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
I'm George W. Bush, and I approve this message.
In 1972, there were 40 democracies in the world. Today, 120. Freedom is spreading throughout the world like a sunrise. And this Olympics, there will be 2 more free nations and 2 fewer terrorist regimes. With strength, resolve, and courage, democracy will triumph over terror, and hope will defeat hatred.
Well, here's Mike Myers, the veteran left-hander recently acquired from Seattle. When I say he's from down under, actually he was born in Arlington Heights, Illinois, not far from here. But he comes from down under.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, you speak baseball.
Yeah.
Jose Valentin, the hitter, he is 2 for 7 lifetime against Myers. And Myers inherits a runner, Carl Everett, at first base, who is the possible tying run. Bill Miller is playing shallow at third. The White Sox, more than most American League teams, will bunt. And Valentin shows bunt and takes just a bit outside. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, that's as he gives a look to his third base coach.
Well, he hasn't bunted very often, I'm sure, but Mike Myers is very tough on left-handed hitters, so not a bad time to bunt him over.
That's called a strike as he pulled the bat back. I mean, Myers is not a real hard thrower, but it's such a profoundly different look than you get from almost any other pitcher that he can be real tough. He was tough on Barry Bonds for several years. And then Barry finally last year on his birthday hit a game-ending home run against Myers in San Francisco. It's the only time that Bonds had ever hit a home run against Myers. There's Everett. He's the possible tying run. 6-5. Boston ahead. A game which has seen 5 home runs. There's the bump, but it hit him on the foot. He was still in the batter's box. So it's a foul ball. He looks a little upset with himself. He's not been able to get that bunt down. Now it's strike 2. What do you think, Joe?
No, I don't think he'll be bunting now. Because he does have power. He has hit 26 home runs. So I don't think you give up that last strike by bunting and maybe fouls it off for strike 3. So I think they'll let him swing.
The switch hitting Ben Davis is on deck. Way outside. No indication of the bunt there. 2-2. Six runs, 9 hits, and 1 error for Boston. There's Davis on deck. 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the White Sox. Konerko and Lee have homered for the White Sox. Minkiewicz, Ramirez, and Ortiz have all gone deep for Boston. And he lunged at it and popped it up foul and back out of play.
And it's a good job by Valentin just to foul that pitch off. It was a crossfire, and it was toward the outside part of the plate, but he leaned over there and fouled it off.
Myers is in his 7th game with the Red Sox. As Mike Timlin, the right-hander, gets ready in the Boston bullpen. Myers has pitched 3 2/3 innings for Boston, has given up only 1 hit. So most of the time when he's come in, he's faced only 1 hitter. Back to the bag is Everett. We got the switch hitting Davis on deck. Another switch hitter, Borchard, due up after him. Davis, who has so far been much better batting left-handed for the White Sox than right-handed. There's Borchard in the hole. Nobody out. And again, back to the bag is Everett. Now, when Everett's healthy, he runs pretty well.
Yeah.
Neil Cox, a left-hander, warming up in the Chicago bullpen now. Mike Myers, the 3rd Boston pitcher of the game. Popped up foul. Racing over Varitek, and he just didn't have room. Started to vault over that railing nonetheless. 2-2 the count. The battle continues between Myers and Jose Valentin. As Ozzie Guillen. White Sox have had some problems in the late innings of games earlier this year. Billy Koch was the closer. He was struggling. Now he's with the Florida Marlins. Takatsu, the former Japanese closer, now the closer here, and he's done well, but the 8th inning's been a problem. Came after him with a high fastball, foul right back to the screen. 2-2 the count. Red Sox were leading 4-3 into the 7th inning when Lee hit a 2-run homer to put the White Sox ahead. And starting with that, there have been 4 pitching changes, 3 home runs, and 2 lead changes. That's just starting in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the strikeout. So it took him a while, but Myers gets Valentin, and with Davis coming up, looks like a pitching change.
Well, I was wondering why he hadn't thrown him another curveball or slider, because he drops down. It's very difficult to see it if you're a left-handed hitter. That was a slider.
So now Mike Timlin's going to come in. That's why they got Mike Myers to do the job he just did. And he did it well again here tonight. Timlin coming in.
Sir, I detect the presence of alcohol. Have you been drinking this evening?
Not really.
1 or 2?
Just a few.
Step out of the car, sir. Step out of the car. Step out of the car, please.
Across the country, cops are cracking down. No matter where you drive, if you drive impaired, you will be arrested. It's simple.
You drink, you drive, you lose.
Oh, I thought I had more time. Okay, yeah, I can make it. Bye.
Pay 10 bills in under 3 minutes. Online. Free. With our free checking. From Bank of America. Higher standards.
I am high up in a tree here at the beautiful Rich Guy Open. I'm kidding you. I'm beside the 18th where McMaster is about to tee off. And, you know, he can't really decide what club to hit. His caddy is pointing. There's the green up there, which is a big help to hire a caddy so they can point to where the hole is. And McMaster has this nasty habit of throwing grass in the air. It's like we've got a live 6-foot gopher. Hot Shots Golf. For golf for the people. Rated E for everyone.
PlayStation 2, now just $149.
Sarge doesn't Written by Francis Scott Off-Key.
Manny Ramirez, 11 RBIs this weekend in Chicago. 2 tonight. His only hit tonight, a home run to tie the game in the 8th inning. There's Mike Timlin on to pitch now for the Red Sox. Timlin in his 58th game of the year, 4.4 ERA. And he was about as good as there was out of anybody's bullpen in the postseason last year for the Red Sox. Also, Roberto Alomar, number 12, over to first base to act as a pinch runner for Carl Everett. And here's Ben Davis, 0 for 3. It's interesting, bringing in the right-hander moves Davis to his stronger side, the left side. Back goes Ramirez, plenty of room out there, slips, and it goes beyond him. Unbelievable. Alomar belatedly breaks and will get to third base. He had Davis trailing right up his back on that one. So Alomar did not go halfway. So the White Sox get an incredible break.
Well, Manny started back on it. He settles right there. Now his foot goes out from under him. He keeps fighting, trying to make the catch, but it gets past him. Now, see, he tries to stop. I guess the outfield's wet or something right there, and he slips.
I asked Johnny Damon before the game about this outfield. And that was exactly what he said. He said, you know, it's funny, the outfield is wet.
Yeah, I mean, it appeared to be right there. Because he definitely got back there in time, and he was starting to settle underneath it.
I mean, a routine play that turns into a double. And now Ross Glode, a left-handed hitter, is going to pinch hit for Joe Borchard here in the 8th inning.
Well, watch him. See, he stops right there to make the catch. And all of a sudden, I mean, he was in the right spot. That's Roberto Alomar. He's going to go back and tag up. Otherwise, he probably would have been able to score if he would have got, well, no, he probably would have been still ended up at third. Because I don't think he could have scored on that one.
Well, the White Sox would like to see what would have happened if he'd just gone halfway. So now Ross Glode, and that's too high, ball one. So a huge break for the White Sox. And now Ross Glode trying to take advantage of that huge break. Somebody's going to have to either get the fly ball, or in this spot, even a ground ball to one of the middle infielders could get the tying run home. Instead of 2 down and a runner at first, 1 out, runners at second and third. Staying with the high fastball, and Glode fouls it straight back. Glode is hitting .275, 3 home runs, 24 batted in 138 at bats. He's been the White Sox most often used pinch hitter, 8 hits in 24 pinch hit at bats. So he's hitting .333 as a pinch hitter. Batting here for Borchard, who went 0 for 3. Joe Crede out on deck. A base hit could put the White Sox back ahead again. And that will go back out of play. The last 10 batters in this game have been faced by 7 different pitchers. Chandler is the 4th Boston pitcher of the game, beginning with Canerco's at bat right after Carlos Lee homered in the 7th inning to put the White Sox ahead. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Crowd of 34,355 here at Comiskey. And that's a little cut fastball inside. And now it is 2-2.
Well, that was his strikeout pitch. He threw a couple of pitches out over the plate, and he tries to nail the inside corner, but you can see he misses. But he was definitely going for the strikeout there.
And he needs a strikeout.
Well, he hasn't thrown a splitter, and he has a good one.
And high and tight. Another fastball. 3-2. Now he does have first base open, and he's got the right-handed hitter on deck. You see the runners. Roberto Alomar at third, and Ben Davis at second. There's Joe Crede, the right-handed hitter, on deck.
Well, with the base open, this should be the splitter. Oh, another fastball.
Staying with the hard stuff here against Glode. Still 3-2 to Ross Glode.
And Veritek's going to go out and talk to him.
Well, that might be what they're talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why you would. He's got a really good splitter, which you can use as a strikeout pitch. You have first base open. Take one shot at it.
Runners at second and third. The White Sox are down by a run, but threatening to go ahead by a run. You saw the closer, Takatsu, getting ready in the bullpen. That is just foul.
Well, he tried for the fastball on the inside corner again, and Glode was ready for it this time.
Almost just like a split-second two-ready.
Yeah.
That was just barely foul, otherwise a 2-run double. The infield backed up all the way around. 1 out. Crowd is on its feet. And a pop foul out of play. Another fastball, just fastball after another.
Well, I guess he has in his mind that he can throw the fastball by him, or that's the book on Glode, that he doesn't handle the high fastball. And I guess the other thought is he doesn't want to bounce it because he has a runner at third base.
Everybody standing here in Chicago. 6-5 Boston, last of the 8. Runners at second and third. And a high fastball popped up. Bill Miller's got plenty of room. Out number 2.
Well, they got what they wanted. They kept throwing the fastball up. And I guess they figured that they could either strike him out with it or get him to pop it up.
Now Joe Creedy goes back to the dugout.
And there you see fastball actually right at the top of the zone. And there's Rowan. He knows that now it takes a base hit.
And instead of Joe Creedy, it's going to be Timo Perez as a pinch hitter. Manny Ramirez, who slipped on the wet grass out there in left field. And a routine fly ball turned into a double, putting runners at second and third. Alomar still at third. And Ben Davis still at second. Yankees lost today. If the Red Sox win it, they'll be only 5.5 out. They were 10.5 back of the Yankees. In the wild card, they need to win to stay ahead of the Rangers and the Angels, who are also right there back of Oakland in the Western Division. So here is the former Met, Timo Perez. 1 ball and no strikes. Timo is hitting .245. He's had 233 at-bats, 4 home runs. He also has a lot of speed, and in deference to that, Bill Miller plays him shallow at third. Chumado. The left-handed batting Willie Harris is on deck. The runner at third, Alomar, belongs to Curtis Leskanic. As Harris goes, he decided he wanted a different bat, Joe. The one he had out there, he just decided, hey, that won't do it. And they're a little tense here in Chicago. Runners at second and third, 2 down. And 3-0. Perez has never had a hit against Timlin. 0 for 4 lifetime against him. 3-0. Over the outside for a strike. He did not groove it. 3-1. Roberto Alomar, a pinch runner. The possible tying run at third. Ben Davis, the possible go-ahead run. He's at second. They'll both be off and running with the crack of the bat here with 2 down. Barichek out to speak with Timlin again.
Well, you know, last time all they did was go with the hard fastball, and they got what they needed, a pop-up on the infield.
So the White Sox needing the big hit. White Sox need a hero. 3-1. Strike 2.
That was a good fastball there. That one had a lot of movement on it. So that one has some movement. That looked like he came towards the outside corner.
Everybody standing here in Chicago. Now again, Varitek out to speak directly to Timlin.
Well, you have to, you know, be sure on what you're going to do. And I think if the pitcher doesn't want to throw a certain pitch, you can't force him to throw it, because that's not what he wants to do. You've got to say, well, what do you want to throw, and throw it. Now, the catcher put down a sign. He shook it off. You just have to go to the next one.
But it seems like all he's thrown since he came into the game is fastballs.
Right, and it'd be tough to throw a splitter after you haven't thrown one and try to get this guy out, because you may bounce it.
And a foul back into the upper deck.
And the other thing about it is that not only is Timo Perez late on the fastball, so was Glode, so he just kept pumping it.
Timlin, the third Boston pitcher of the inning. Leskanic started, then Myers, now Timlin. The three of them have thrown 30 pitches in the inning. Runners at second and third, 2 down. Boston ahead 6-5. Now Timo tires of waiting for Timlin. I mean, what? Why is this taking so long? They just conversed. 3-2 the count to Timo. Here we go. Another foul back out of play. Another fastball. So it goes on. The crowd have been up, roaring with each pitch.
And they're still standing.
It takes a lot of energy out of the crowd because they got the excitement going and the tension going all at the same time. There they are, everybody on their feet. 3-2. Johnny Damon. He does not slip. The inning is over. The White Sox could not get the big hit or even the big ground ball. 6-5 Boston on to the ninth.
Noticeably perfect. The Range Rover by Land Rover. Special lease and finance rates available.
From the day we're welcomed into our first neighborhood and at every stage in life along the way, our needs and priorities change, except one, our need to be part of a community, to feel part of something bigger. No one understands the importance of community like Del Webb. So whether you're just starting a family or you've already raised yours, Del Webb offers more than a home. We offer a place to belong. The communities of Del Webb.
This is the one sales event you've been waiting for, the Ford Authorized Clearance. Get up to $1,500 clearance cash in addition to customer cash on Ford's best-selling trucks, including the award-winning F-150, the tough Ford Ranger, and the big, powerful Ford Super Duty. Add up the clearance cash and you get up to $5,000 cash back on Ford's best-selling trucks. This is the one sales event you don't want to miss, the Ford Authorized Clearance at your Arizona Ford dealers.
Later on SportsCenter, Derek Jeter's secret off-the-field weapon revealed and why the Eli Manning era is ready to start now.
If you don't watch SportsCenter, you're fired.
After the game on ESPN.
Back in Chicago, 6-5, Boston still ahead. In spite of everything. And there's Neil Cox, a left-hander, on to pitch for the White Sox now. In spite of two big White Sox home runs and a slippery patch of grass in left field that Manny Ramirez stumbled on and fell and turned the fly ball into a double. But Mike Timlin with some clutch pitching, Joe, and talk about having confidence in your fastball. First ball swinging, Minkiewicz pops one into shallow left. Valentin. And that's it. Minkiewicz, 1 for 4. Manny Ramirez alongside Ortiz in the dugout.
And this was his 8th inning. First pitch of the 8th inning, he ties the ball game with a home run. And then he goes back to catch this fly ball, stops, and then he slips, keeps fighting it. But the Sox do not score.
1-1 to Bellhorn.
And when he came into the dugout, I mean, this is a great reception. I mean, guys are hugging him. Timlin hugged him. I mean, all the players are, you know, hugging Manny. And that motion he made like a gun shooting. It was like players have this thing, if a guy slips out there, he said, well, somebody shot the rug from under me out there. That's kind of what the players talk about.
And that's a base hit for Bellhorn. Bellhorn, I'm sure happy to get a hit. He was happy just to make contact. He had struck out 3 straight times. Changes for the White Sox. We told you about the new pitcher, Kotz. Ross Lowe, who pinch hit for Borchard, stays in the game to play right field. And Juan Uribe goes in to play third base after Timo Perez pinch hit for Creedy. Now, here is Johnny Damon. Damon singled to start that 3-run first inning rally. It's hard to imagine that was even the same game.
Yes.
There have been a lot of eventful occurrences since Boston took that early lead. They got 3 in the first and 1 in the second for a 4-0 lead. That's a strike on the outside. Both bullpens are busy again. Boston ahead 6-5 in the 9th. 1 out, 1 on. And that's up and away. 2-1. I would be guessing this is about time for, as you see Takatsu in the White Sox bullpen. This would be about the time that Keith Folk could be getting ready for the Red Sox with the 9th inning lead to protect. That's a little bit low. 3-1 now to Johnny Damon from Neil Kotz. And there's Folk.
And interesting is a couple of years ago he was the closer here, and he lost his job as the closer, and then they traded him to Oakland where he had a couple of good years.
Well, he had 1 good year in Oakland.
Yeah, 1.
I mean, he had enough saves. He had enough saves for a couple of years.
Yeah.
With the Athletics. They've had a hard time replacing him. A little bouncer, Willie Harris. No chance to get this very speedy Johnny Damon, but he may have prevented Bellhorn from going to third.
Well, Harris gets a good jump on this ball. It's that high chopper, but this is a very firm infield. You can see the ball take off, and he does a great job of getting to it, and he made a smart play by not throwing it.
So now you've got Orlando Cabrera coming up with Manny Ramirez behind him, a couple of right-handed hitters. Runners at first and second, 1 out. And the right-hander, Takatsu, is going to come in from the Chicago bullpen. 2 men on, 1 man out. The Red Sox already leading 2-1. And Takatsu at this point asked to save the deficit. We'll be back.
There was something new between us. Must have been my new chicken select. My perfectly seasoned 100% chicken breast. Things would never be the same.
Back off my chicken, Nana.
New chicken selects from McDonald's. All chicken breast, all mine.
7 years ago, Bristol-Myers Squibb medicines literally saved my life. I simply wouldn't be here without them. Today, Bristol-Myers Squibb researchers are focused on our most serious diseases with revolutionary treatments for cancer and AIDS. These researchers dedicate their lives to fighting our most serious diseases. And these medicines can make the difference for millions of us. I'm living proof of that. Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
You know what I want? I want a credit card that's more than plastic. Give me magic.
Get Disney's Visa credit card only from Bank One.
I want rewards like Lion King DVDs, dinner with Cinderella, a Disney cruise vacation. I want rewards she can enjoy now while she's 6, not 36.
The only card that earns you magical rewards.
I don't want to hear about blackout dates and annual fees. That's not magic.
Get the magical rewards card from the Bank One card collection. Apply now.
I want a little magic.
And with the Red Sox leading the White Sox 6-5, and you see Domo Arigato Takatsu-san. And in Japan, he was the all-time saves leader. Major League Baseball Boys and Girls Clubs of America are sending kids to the ballpark in support of childhood cancer research. Tickets are available in every market for a donation of $1 each. You can log on to MLB.com for more information. The AmeriQuest Mortgage Company has made a charitable contribution of $1 million to obtain 1 million tickets from the Commissioner's Initiative for Kids. So check it out and support a great cause and bring some kids to a Major League ball game. Takatsu. He is not a hard thrower, Joe, but he is tough to hit. Outside for a ball.
Well, he has that sidearm motion, which bothers some right-handed hitters, and he does throw a variety of off-speed pitches.
Orlando Cabrera started to pick it up this week with the bat, and tonight he's had a single and a double. 2 for 4. 2 men on, 1 man out. That is a strike call to the outside. Only 78 miles an hour. There's Manny Ramirez on deck. Takatsu at 260 saves for the Kult Swallows of the Japanese Central League. That's a called strike 2. He inherits 2 runners. Mark Bellhorn at second. Johnny Damon at first. Boston already ahead 6-5. Takatsu was not the closer when the season began, but eventually, because of his strong pitching and nobody else was doing well in the job, he got the job and he's done well. Man. Oh man, that breaking ball at 62 miles an hour, and in the final analysis, Cabrera just could not wait.
Well, it was a sidearm breaking ball, and not only that, it starts at him. Watch where this pitch starts. Starts right at him, and then it starts to break, and Cabrera can't wait long enough. See how he checked right there? His knees buckle for a second because it starts behind him. So that pitch starts right at him and breaks over the middle of the plate.
Well, he came in for strike 2 with a fastball clocked at 87, and then the curveball 62. Well, looks strike 1 to Manny Ramirez.
Looks to me the reason you have trouble dealing with him, John, is because every single pitch is a different speed.
Two men on, 2 men out. The great Ramirez at the plate, and he's having an incredible weekend here. 11 RBIs in 3 games, and as if the weekend was not already impressive enough, in the 8th inning of this game, with his team down by a run, he homered to tie the game. 65 miles an hour on that breaking ball. 1 and 2. I mean, nobody throws these kind of pitches.
Well, again, every pitch is a different speed, and he just kind of slings it. You can see Manny trying to wait on it, trying to stay there.
So the great closer from the Japanese Central League against the great slugger from the American League. Going head-to-head. 2 men on, 2 men out. Takatsu trying to keep the Sox in the game. And that fastball at 90. After a 65-mile-an-hour pitch, he comes back at 90. Too low.
I'd have to question that 90 speed right there.
Keith Folk getting ready for the last of the night. The top of the order will be coming for the White Sox. Harris, Rowand, and Carlos Lee. So some big hitters coming up for Chicago. Strike 3, and Manny knew it. A fastball at 89 on the outside corner. The Red Sox will have to make do with the 1-run advantage. Top of the order coming up for Chicago.
So I have NFL Sunday ticket? Yep, you get up to 200 NFL games. And you get DirecTV's.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Red Sox 6, White Sox 5. Last of the 9th inning coming up. Last chance for the White Sox. Don't forget now, right after the ball game, stay tuned. SportsCenter's coming up. Stuart Scott, John Anderson. They've got the full day in the world of sports. The American League, National League playoff pictures. Also, a little NFL look as Eli Manning is going to be the Giants quarterback. And a round of golf with the Donalds. SportsCenter is next. And even Red Sox and White Sox fans both know that as a universal truth. SportsCenter is next. There's Keith Folk. What if the Red Sox had Folk last year? Would Pedro Martinez been left in there as long as he was in Game 7 against the Yankees?
I would answer yes, because I think they would have saved Folk for the 9th inning, as they usually do.
But I mean, I don't mean that Folk would have come in, but maybe some of those other guys who were going to be ready for the 9th would have moved back an inning.
No.
You think he was just going to be in there?
I think that was Pedro's game right there.
What's done cannot be undone.
I don't think you can undo that.
Here's Willie Harris. Well, if it could have been undone, millions of Red Sox fans would have undone it.
Right.
They couldn't undo it, so they undid Grady Little.
Yeah.
Willie Harris 1 for 4, trying to get the White Sox started. He bunts at it, trying to drag a bunt, but fouling it. Now he's behind 0-2 to Keith Folk. Folk, the former White Sox closer. You know, at the trading deadline in 1997, Folk, who was a San Francisco Giants farmhand with some big league experience with the Giants, was part of a blockbuster trade that helped the Giants win a division title that year. Folk, though, came here to Chicago in that deal, and he was not the key guy. Strike 3, some movement coming back to the inside, and Willie Harris gets into the face of Charlie Rutherford, and he is thrown out of the game.
Well, it's a 2-strike pitch, and Folk tries to find the inside corner with a fastball. And that K-Zone says it did get the inside corner.
Well, he must have said the magic word.
Well, I don't know. He was walking away when he threw him out.
Here's Aaron Rowand. High and foul. Rowand has 18 home runs. And he is the possible tying run here with Carlos Lee and Canerco. So the big White Sox home run hitters, other than Valentin, among the guys who are healthy, are coming up right now in the ballpark that has seen more home runs than any other ballpark in the major leagues this year, including 5 tonight. Hit very high and foul. That's a roof shot from the third base side. That was impressive, Joe. That's up there, that new rooftop. 0-2 the count to Aaron Rowand. Keith Folk, I suppose, has been the most enduring of all the players involved coming to the White Sox in that trade in '97. And now he's with the Boston Red Sox. And ironically, the last pitching he did for Oakland in a chance to get a save, David Ortiz hit one at Fenway Park for a game-turning double that won Game 4 for Boston in the 8th inning. Folk could not get that final save. Hugging third was Miller. That's why he got to that one with a great pickup, and he throws him out.
And that was a very difficult play, because not just to get over to the ball, but to catch the hop. He made just the right move to move in a little bit so he could get it on the short hop. Now watch, he gets it on the short hop. See how he comes in? Nice play. The catch was what was tough. He was already over there, but watch him. He comes forward just enough to get that on the short hop. And he gets up and throws a strike to first base. Nice play.
Might have reminded some Red Sox old-timers of Frank Malzone on that one. 2 down, and here is Carlos Lee.
I was kind of thinking more of Rico Petrocelli after he moved over to short.
Kind of reminded some Sox old-timers of Rico Petrocelli. Carlos Lee, the last time he was up there, the White Sox were trailing by a run, and he hit a home run to the opposite field with a man aboard to put them ahead. That is high and foul and into the upper deck. Well, now they need another big fly from Carlos. This is the play we're talking about in the 7th inning. That was the last pitch thrown by Derek Lowe. 24 homers for Lee now. But the White Sox are down to their final out. 2 down, nobody on. On the outside corner, strike 2 call. Bill Miller again hugging the line at third. The outfield is backed up straight away. The Red Sox are 1 strike away from sweeping the White Sox and moving to within 5.5 of the Yankees in the East. Goes to the inside, off the corner. 2-2 now. Changeup, bounce foul on the third base side. 2-2 the count. The largest deficit that any Red Sox team has ever overcome to end up ahead of the Red Sox, the Yankees, was 10 games in 1988, although it was much earlier in the season. They've been down by as many as 10.5 this year, and they were down 10.5 a week ago. Just off the outside.
Man, that was a smart pitch because he got the call out there last time, and he was thinking that maybe he could get Carlos Lee to go off the plate this time to get it.
3-2 the count. Konerko would be next. And he rips it foul. Another changeup there from Folk, which is really his signature pitch.
Yes, it is. But he spots the fastball so well, that's what keeps the hitters off balance. They can't just sit up there and look for the changeup.
Manny Ramirez, his homer in the 8th, tied it. Ortiz followed on the next pitch with a homer to untie. Boston leading by that 1 run. 2 down in the 9th. 3-2 the count. Changeup struck him out, and the Red Sox sweep the White Sox. The Red Sox roll continues, and Boston is now still ahead in the wild card race, that very tightly bunched wild card race, and suddenly they've got visions of the Yankees again.
And you have to give them a lot of credit, John. After the Sox tied the score, the Red Sox came right back and put it away.
The big guys. Manny and Ortiz launching back-to-back homers. Red Sox win. Leskanic to win over Marte. 6-5 Boston. For Joe Morgan, Gary Miller, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm John Miller. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. SportsCenter is next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader.